phenomenal.
それでは早速全速前進
You wanna know what the weak point of a mech is? The fucking pilot.
Get away from her, you bitch!
His papers say he was a raven.
Protocol 3.
A pattern blue!
Welcome to On the Shoulders of Giants, a giant robot power hour discussing mechs across media, their stories, and why we love them. I'm Alice, and I'm joined by Brian.
Hey, it's me, the guy who managed to make Simuliu boring. Please clap.
Why'd you do that?
And Niko.
Unfortunately, Atlas, given your current attachments, you will never escape samsara.
And this time...
Fuck.
Atlas 2024. Let's launch into it.
You don't get to have that energy. You brought this.
Somebody in our Discord said that they were very excited to hear what my thoughts on this movie are. And I think the nuance I'm about to bring to the table is something this movie could never achieve.
I think we can say it. That person was John Durham.
John Durham has great taste, that's all I'm saying. So guys, we're here. It's time to talk about a little film called Atlas. To take a break from the 1 year pod, we're doing some other things, kind of having a lighter summer because you'll never guess, watching 5,000 hours of Gundam is kind of, it's a lot in 1 year. So instead, we've decided to pick up some small little indie productions and talk about them. So let's talk about Atlas 2024. This was produced in 2024 by ASAP Entertainment. This is 2 hours on the dot of runtime.
Like they had to get to a train. Like it is 2 hours.
This is not part of a franchise, but could be argued to be a spiritual successor to the 2017 Ghost in the Shell film.
Can you say more about that? What the fuck are you talking about?
I got real. We're doing Bato. We're doing the eye mask. We're doing the same shit. And there was some reused cyberpunk shit in here. I feel
do you
it.
not? Okay, but do you not know what this is actually a spiritual successor to?
What is it, Niko?
I know what it aspires to be a spiritual successor to and
Oh yeah, I
fails
think
miserably.
Brian knows. When okay, here's a fun thing. We'll just get a little insight about my life too. When I told my very brave spouse, my very brave spouse's other partner, that I was going to be watching this film, my very brave spouse's other partner, who is wired this way, immediately opened IMDb and went to trivia. A notable piece of trivia listed on the IMDb page for Atlas 2024 is that it was inspired by Titanfall 2.
No way.
Yeah. Close enough. Welcome back, BT.
No, don't. Hey, no. No.
Some might call it a prequel to Project Hail Mary. Rocky and Grace. We're doing it again.
I just want to set the tone right up here up front. I'm going to post a very important image to the chat for this episode so that y'all know what to expect from me.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please describe for the
Okay.
listeners what meme I have just
It's that
posted.
one where the guy is in like a European parliament trying to say something and people are ripping the mic out.
This is a still that I took from the film Real Steel that I custom edited to have OSG listeners and Alice and Brian. This is the meme that I posted that says Niko insisting Real Steel is good. I've now edited it to say Niko insisting Atlas 2024 starring Jennifer Lopez is good.
Okay.
The Defenders logged on. Welcome.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the
thought
production
it was gonna be a
notes.
hater movie. Welcome.
Oh, it never was. It never is. Okay, something that, so we talk about film sometimes on this. I love film, so we're going to talk about this in a film-centric way. So we're going to talk about who the creatives involved were. So this was directed by Brad Payton, notably known for directing Rampage, starring The Rock,
Yep.
San Andreas, starring The Rock, and Cats and Dogs, The Revenge of Kitty Galore,
Just, film.
which is the third in the Cats and Dogs trilogy.
Criterion Closet stuff. We know.
Yeah.
This was written by two writers. Two writers were involved with this.
This is a two-hander.
Leo Sardarian, who is known for the 2017 10-episode series that was canceled called Startup, and nothing else of value. And Aaron Eli Colliette, who wrote the Lock and Key TV show as well as Spiderwick Chronicles. So some juice. A little bit of juice.
I think it's probably Aaron, right?
No, it's Aaron. Go ahead and
It's
drop that in here.
It stars Jennifer Lopez, who you might know as Jennifer Lopez. Simu Liu, who is a good actor. What is he doing here?
Yeah, what happened here?
Sterling K. Brown from the This Is Us TV show. And I'm going to use this. We're going to do a little side diversion. You know when Niko brings a book to the podcast? I'm bringing a show, which is Sterling K. Brown is the star of the show Paradise on Hulu, which, as you know, I love bunker-based media that involves a bunker of any way, and this is a great bunker-based media. Watch the first season. It's a self-encapsulating story about a bunch of billionaires hiding in a mountain for the end of the world and a murder mystery. It's like if Stephen King wrote good stuff. It has that kind of... If The Dome was good, maybe.
I enjoyed The Dome, but I'll take this rec. That actually sounds pretty good.
You would love it. Just watch the first season. I'm not sold on the second
Alice
season.
loaded up her fucking 6-shooter for this episode. I'm suffering so much.
Brian was like, well, at least I'll have an ally. And I turned to you with the Simu Liu face with blue contacts in.
Like, if we're going bunker-based media, we all know the scale, which is the worst bunker-based media is the American Horror Stories Season 5, where they're in a bunker during the apocalypse. That is shit bunker-based media. And the best bunker-based media, which is Fallout 2, the video game.
Oh, I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was going to come up in here,
what
but
about
okay.
Silo starring, what's-her-face from Dune?
That's
isn't that a
closer to
bunker
the
Silo
media?
starring the wife, the woman I'm most normal about. Fuck.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Anyway, we're putting the bunker-based media section of the podcast aside, but just know that I was so hyped when I saw him in this movie, and then they did what they did to him.
No bunkers in Atlas 2024. Notably.
Zero bunkers.
Arguably, there's a cavern.
Cinematography for this film was by John Schwartzman, who is known for Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, The Rock, and Seabiscuit.
Alice, you left a very crucial actor credit out of this film. Did you look up the
Mark
actor
Strong?
credit for the voice? Well, of course, Mark Strong, who I refer to as Timu Stanley Tucci. Mark
For
Strong
the voice
is here.
of Smith?
Yeah.
Why, that's good old Greg Cohen.
Yeah. What's his most famous role?
Velocipaster.
This is the Velocipaster.
This is the Velocipaster.
I don't know what that is. I do know that you know what? I'm not I can't. Okay. My enemy is whoever put you in front of the mic. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
I will say, I think there's some work being done here. I do blame the direction, especially because here's my thing. About halfway through this movie, I did pause it to go listen to BT voice lines. I think the direction that was given to the Velocipaster, I've posted the movie poster in our chat.
Thank you.
I think the direction that was given to the Velocipaster was just do BT, that sucks. I hate that for you.
And well, if that's true, then he did a really bad job, and he is my enemy.
Don't forget his other great roles, such as Erotic Set Grip on Queen of Manhattan, Police Officer 2 in one episode of American Horror Stories, and also Automated Message as automated voice in A State of.
That's if he's voice acting, that's what he should voice act.
I gotta say, he has real automated voice energy.
He does. He has answering machine voice. He has Siri voice. He's one of the Siri voice options, this man.
Which makes sense for the casting, but unfortunately, well, we'll talk about it anyway.
So the cinematography by John Schwartzman, honestly, he's a great director of photography. Look his stuff up. He's doing what he can with an all CGI movie.
Yeah, but unfortunately, most of this movie was filmed on location in Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
The editor for this film was Bob Duxey, who is just kind of one that the theaters just keep in retainer. But he has done, to kind of give a taste, he did Mummy 1991 and Tremors 2. Like, he kind of does this B action movie as an editor. So that's why it kind of fits the beats of
That's why the editing is
80s
asshole.
action.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And music, The stunning,
Yoko
beautiful
Kanno.
music was done by Andrew Lockington, who the director just brought this guy from San Andreas and Rampage. That's the only other big credits he's ever done. It was just like, hey, you want to come do this movie? Reading on this, and I didn't put this in here because I did some reading on this, but here's the thing. There's not much out there on this because it's such a flash in the pan. But this was a spec script. Spec script is when studios are like, we need a movie for this actor. And we need it to have these thematic beats. And so I think you can kind of figure out that the actor was Jennifer Lopez and the beat was AI and counterterrorism. And this is what we got.
Lopez also listed as executive producer, which is like, that's one of those things where like, look, I'm not a Hollywood expert. That just rings of cringe to me. I don't know if you guys agree.
It depends.
You can't executive produce a movie that you're starring in that has so much I'm in this little rig with a camera directly on my face for hours. I don't know, guys. The
film of it all, in the terrible Hollywood accounting of it all, is you'll often see main actors listed as executive producers because it gives them a higher cut of the profit.
Okay.
So it's usually a negotiation as part of it is, I'm also an executive producer.
Oh,
and then also they can make...
you know what? You're right. I did know about that.
But then
okay,
also
that makes sense.
to give them power over the director, which is something that bad actors do.
I will say, I do think it also, to me, it more signals like actor heavily invested in the script, for better or worse. If I recall correctly, Ryan Gosling is an executive producer on the Project Hail Mary film. It's one of those things that it's like, yeah, it can be good and bad, right? It tends to signal that an actor was heavily invested, which makes sense because another piece of IMDb trivia that is listed from the press tour is that Jennifer Lopez says she cried the first time she read the script.
The fuck is going on?
That sounds like J-Lo. So this is a streamer, which means I can't pull up box office numbers for you. But what I can tell you is that Netflix confirmed in its first week, it debuted to 28.2 million views. It did its cycle in the limelight of Netflix slop and then quickly faded away out of the top 10. The viewer completion rate, as reported by Netflix in August of the same year, was 80%. So 80% of the people who turned this movie on let it run to the end. We gotta talk about score. Score is one of the few things we can look at. Oddly enough, Roger Ebert did not write a review of this that I can quote from. He gave it to one of his interns. So there's a good article from the New Yorker, but fuck the New Yorker, that kind of breaks into this. It got a 6.1 on IMDb currently. And as of right now, it has a 17% tomato meter with 112 critical reviews and a 46% popcorn meter from over 1,000 fan reviews.
I always see tomato meter and my brain always says tomatometer. That's nothing, but I just wanted to mention it.
Tomatometer, I say tomato meter.
The Alice Gundam has a tomato. Okay.
Here's what I'll say about the fact that I've logged on as a defender. The pivot for me came 10 minutes before the end of this film, where I had a dark revelation. We'll get there. But my notes on this film start in a very negative place. So I will be with you for most of the ride, Brian, and then I'm going to have a dangerous turn.
Okay. If we're talking about this now, I have a bell curve. I start really low on it, and then I get a little higher. And then actually, I have the opposite reaction, Niko. In the last 10%, it plummets again, just farther than it's ever plummeted. So we'll talk about it.
I'm so excited for this.
Mine looks like my feelings on this look like a heart murmur through an EKG. Like none of those lines make sense.
We're so back
We're so
meme.
back
That's what you're.
Like even more erratic.
Mine looks like stonks.
Hey gang, what did you know about Atlas before I brought it to the podcast, Brian?
I am a rigid Netflix not haver on purpose, so I had no idea this existed. That's it.
Okay. Niko, what about you?
I also am a Netflix non-haver, and I had heard nothing about this one, because every once in a while I'll hear about, like, a Netflix flop, like a big enough Netflix flop. It will, like, penetrate popular culture. Not a ripple from this one.
This is a faint praise. I think it's when it's at an idol, it's too mid to be.
It's not bad enough to get Razzies. Yeah. It's not good enough to break out of the pile.
J.Lo was nominated for a Razzie. She didn't win, but she was nominated.
And I will say up front, I feel like that's unfair. I feel like J-Lo turned in a decent performance on this script.
Did she?
I do.
We'll talk about it.
She did. She had her moments, but she also had some other moments. So I feel like it's uneven. But anyway, synopsis.
Yeah. Here is a synopsis of the 2024 film Atlas. Another in the half-watching while doing laundry film pile. This made a few people a lot of money, and this can't help but feel like COVID Netflix slop mess. The stiffness of the acting and its inane plot reflect the ever-increasing need for a never-ending slop feeder for the greedy little consumer piggies watching it. Soulless, lifeless, even the sparks of creativity that do glimmer here will never change the fact that this was made instead of funding 100 smaller budget passion projects. Instead, we once again have big names getting big paychecks and relying on the underpaid animation industry to give this film any substance. Look and behold, the end game of a so-called capitalistic market, run by an oligarchy of soulless, feckless fascists. Perhaps this movie wanted me to think being anti-AI and calling for eco-terrorism wasn't the right answer, but J-Lo, who herself is a product of late-stage capitalism, sure isn't convincing me. Do you think J-Lo has even thought about the concepts in this film? She'd be happy if AI could make it easier to churn out more soulless movies and grow her wealth. What could have been a story of Mech and Human is instead just another line of the Netflix ledger, increasing a wealth funds index portfolio and leaving no lasting impression on the human zeitgeist. No one will watch this in 10 years if it's even available to stream anymore. Sorry, a plot summary, right? AI is made, J-Lo causes one to go Skynet, humanity kills all the evil AI, and her stepbrother AI flees Earth, vowing to do a Char's counterattack. He leads J-Lo to his base, everyone but J-Lo dies, and she has to figure out how to sync her data with the mech to be able to defeat her stepbrother and save Earth. She drama dumps to the mech, accepts the terms and conditions, and the mech sacrifices himself. They never even hook up. And that's the movie Atlas. And with that, let's head to the break.
Hey guys, Brian here. I've got quite a bit to talk about today. Too much, in fact, to do a stupid skit about it, but it'll still be fun for everyone. Fun for every single person who listens to this. If you listen to this and you're not having fun, I don't know how to help you because I think you might be allergic to fun. Okay, first things first, as usual, we have content warnings in the episode description, so check those out if you want any sort of warning as to like sensitive subject matter. We have tons of images on the grandiose website at osgpod.com. Please go to osgpod.com. It's just a really fun, cute website with lots of homoeroticism and purple. You bitches online love homoeroticism and purple. Don't hide it. If you want to know anything about all the other projects we're working on, you need to go there because basically the podcast is our main thing, but it is definitely not the only thing anymore. Okay, secondly, don't forget to kick us $1 a month at ko-fi.com/osgpod so you can access Cars Don't Fly, which is a bit of a deep dive into the Fast and Furious franchise as it relates to the journey of Hollywood film in the early aughts to now, how men work in film, how cars work in film. Iris J and a bunch of guests are there. It's a really fun time. We just released our Too Fast, Too Furious episode, which featured local IATSE 600 union member Faye Weichel to talk about cameras and how they do lots of miracles and witchcraft. Honestly, even if you're like not into cars or Fast and the Furious, you should sub. It's a great time. It's legal to listen to media critique podcasts about media you're not watching or indulging in. I do it all the time. Nobody's hit me or yelled at me yet. You can too. I think it's genuinely a valuable object because we're already seeing kind of an era cultural drift slippage between what action movies we're interested in 2001 versus what they're going to be interested in say 2028 when we get the newest one. So we're recording on Tokyo Drift soon with GRFM Steven Hero, and that episode is probably going to go in our normal feed for a limited time so that everyone can kind of see what they'd be getting into with the whole thing. Thirdly, bear with me. This one's a little bit complicated. You may know that we recently covered a little Dark Horse comic series called Mecha from 1988, which was written by Randy Stridley and then taken over by Tim Eldred. You may not believe this. I still kind of don't. But immediately before we published that episode, Tim reached out to us completely independently. So from that conversation, we have a couple fun things to talk about. The first thing I want to shill here is that Tim is working on a documentary on classic anime with Creator VC. Creator VC is a collective that does like crowd-funded nerd culture documentaries with cultural figures. Tim's doc is called Icons of Anime, and without giving too much away, it seems like it's a very thorough historical background on older shows that made like the biggest splash on the Western Front in the 80s and 90s, or maybe even the 70s too. Things like Speed Racer, Captain Harlock. It seems like they're going to try and get a bunch of materials together, commentary from original creators, all that stuff. All they need right now is to make sure they have the direction for it and the audience for it. So if you want to go to iconsofanimedoc.com, iconsofanimedoc.com, and fill out a short survey on the matter, it would help them move things forward tremendously. I'm personally really interested in this for reasons that we'll probably get into later in the year, but I think it's basically universally a great opportunity by a figure immersed in the comic scene since the 80s. I get some networking with creatives in a field that OSG is really interested in as a project. You get to have a direct hand in moving it forward through that survey. So like, and the thing is, OSG doesn't really do ads, which is why I would have said no if it was something like, please go pitch like Tim's Kickstarter or something. But it seems like it's a real get for like all general audiences. Plus, it has put me into a position. This is the second part. I've gotten Tim on the mic for when we cover his run of Mecha later in the year. So we're going to cover the back 6 issues of Mecha that Tim actually did, and conclude that story. And then we'll have him on to talk a little bit about that, and then probably a little bit more about the documentary because it'll have some more information on it by then. So that's going to be in the fall. Go fill out the survey now. All that stuff is like so interesting. I'm so excited to have like everybody kind of like have that collaborative aspect of it put together. So sorry, I know this is the longest ad break ever, but I only have 2 more things. Starting this weekend, so starting July, I believe 11th. Today is the 6th, so it's this Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I don't have the exact timeline nailed down yet, but this weekend, OSG is doing weekly coverage, or so we're starting to do weekly coverage of the Science Saru Ghost in the Shell 2026 for all 13 episodes. So this will be on our normal feed. They're just going to be like little, 45-minute to an hour long check-ins, how we're feeling, what we thought about the episode, da-da-da-da-da. We're all really excited for this new entry in the franchise. We're all excited to share that with you, so please come hang out with us. That's all just in the normal feed. Last but certainly not least, if you don't know already, our playthrough of the GM-less mecha tabletop game Spectres of Brocken by Aaron Lim finally concluded over on Follow the Leader. Follow the Leader is an actual play podcast that focuses on GM-less story games, and we had the absolute pleasure of guesting with them on the first half of our Brocken playthrough last year, and we concluded that playthrough earlier this year. So the episodes are very spread out on their feed, but if you go to their feed, you can get that story through the following. So part 1 is Season 9, Episode 106.1 through Season 9, Episode 106.3. Part 2 is Season 10, Episode 112.1 through Season 10, Episode 112.4. So we did 2 really long sessions of this game, and then August broke them up into different digestible chunks. So check those out. That game is awesome. We told an awesome story. It's very gross. There's lots of body horror. There's meat mech shit. Definitely go check that out. We had a great time with it. And that's it. We're finally done. I can finally hand you back over to the loving caress of Jennifer Lopez. Remember, iconsofanimedoc.com, iconsofanimedoc.com, and ko-fi.com/OSGpod. Remember. The AI in this movie, when they talk about AI in this movie, we live in this contemporary moment where AI has a lot of load-bearing, like, gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
This was in 2024, which ChatGPT and OpenAI are rampant in 2024. So it's not like it's not part of the moment. I feel like this was probably written, like, it seems like this would be written, like, immediately before Sam Altman exploded, right?
Yeah, production on this was done in 2022. To be fair, they took a long time cooking this one and then releasing it. So
exactly. So which is why I want to say there's really one monologue by J-Lo's mom in this movie that if you were to take it in this current context is like almost unlistenably infuriating. But you have to remember that when they say AI in this movie, they're talking about Robin Williams. They're talking about Haley Joel Osment AI. They're talking
Actual
about artificial intelligence, not Gen AI.
I do feel like it is freighted in this way because, like, my first note on this film is this is what AI boosters are trying to convince us will happen, while also telling us we have to use them. And I just made the note, bro, close the Roko's Basilisk store then, because this is a lot of the fucking talking points that are being presented to like Congress.
Yeah.
The Sam Altman and people like that are trying to make Congress believe that Skynet is a possible future. Thus, they need regulation because they are inventing a better version of autocomplete and scaring themselves. It's not even a better version of autocomplete because it has so many negative repercussions. Like,
yeah, I'll have more to say about this when we get to that part of the movie where she has that monologue, but I just wanted to bookmark that because there's going to be a lot of like AI, like Simu Liu plays an AI in the robot sense, not in the I can make you an image at the cost of destroying the planet sense.
Whereas I will say the Velocipaster kind of plays an AI in the I will make that. He looks like the Cortana logo. I don't know what to do with this. But shout out to the robot arm that just bodies a dude in this opening montage about rampant AI who is clearly standing in the way. It's like my favorite image.
Oh, Alice, you broke this up into 2 parts, I see.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not worth more than that. Yeah, to kind of cap the AI kind of framework here is that this movie isn't about to make any meaningful statement on it with any depth. This is just an excuse to have terrorists. AI is just terrorist. It's sci-fi ISIS or some shit. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, I think it was good to mention Char's counterattack because specifically this movie, if there is a central sin at the core of this movie, it is that it commits the same sin that every action blockbuster does, which is that it gives its villain a perfectly legitimate reason to be upset, to be taking radical action. What it does is then it just makes them do
zany cartoon villain shit.
Yeah, because this is the Marvel formula. It's like, Flag Burner thinks that we should destroy all nation states, and you're sitting here like, I mean, the concept of nation states have been used to just like perpetuate some really awful war crimes. And then it goes like 20 minutes on, and it says Flag Burner does this by liquefying orphans, and you're like, yes, well, Flag Burner. I don't know that this is praxis necessarily.
I do want to say, Alice, to your point on this movie not having anything to say, I think it has some. It ends up stumbling into some interesting and fertile ground by having J-Lo and Smith's arc, right? Because Smith, and Simu Liu will say this, Smith is himself an AI. I think that's just kind of an accident carried over from the fact that this is like beat for beat carried from Titanfall 2's.
Yeah, this is Titanfall 2 fanfic,
which is insanely superior.
But never even throws the pilot. I've broken this into 2 parts because I think that's kind of the cruxes of the movie. Part 1, I'm calling pre-Planetfall. This is before we get to the generic alien planet full of whatever that was.
Planty.
Planty.
We learn that the world has let unregulated AI development lead to a minor Skynet situation. This is the one thing that can unify all human countries. J-Lo, whose half-brother is the leader of the AI terrorist, is the anti-terrorist expert in this future Los Angeles. A new lead opens an investigation into her hiding half-brother, and she forces her way onto an ICN Ranger mission to capture the AI terrorist leader, who again is her half-brother.
Mm-hmm.
Played by Simu Liu.
Yeah.
So first off, this was made in COVID. This is such a COVID movie. This is so COVID. There are never more than 2 people on screen, except for in the hangar where they're all distanced enough that they won't be close enough to J-Lo to give her COVID. It's so loud.
There is one scene where Atlas, Banks, and
we're gonna cut. Her character's name is Atlas, which all of us thought was gonna be the name of the robot. No, the robot's name's Smith. The character is named Atlas, so I'm gonna call her J-Lo this entire time. Okay,
I have a really bad habit of calling the character by the actor's name. I have just in general, so it's gonna be a struggle. But anyway,
it's gonna be the film about J-Lo and Simu Liu. Like, let's just be honest here. We're not calling that man Harlan. We all know why he was named Harlan, but we don't need to call him Harlan.
Why was he named Harlan?
Probably for Harlan Ellison, the author of I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream.
That's for
which
those who
I
don't
just
know.
found out last night has a Steam video game that I'm kind of like looking at. Or sorry, not on Steam. It's on the Switch. It's on the Nintendo Switch store.
The Nintendo Switch version of I Have No Mouth that I must scream.
Yeah,
I'm just imagining like little Tomodachi Life characters.
Oh shit! Talking about the Switch, Niko. Quick check in. How did you watch this film?
I watched it on a real laptop, and I wish I'd put it on the big screen.
Wait, are you talking about the 1995 point and click? I Have No Mouth.
I don't know. I just know that I saw a thing on the Switch store while I was bored and cruising through it at 2 a.m.
This is if it's the 1995 point and click. It's very great.
Okay, I'll check it out. I was just saying, there is one scene that is Mark Strong's character, J-Lo, and Banks all arguing in a very small conference room, and that is the one place where there are three people. However, you can tell that they're not actually standing that close because not a single person in that scene finished a sentence without 6 cuts. It's so frustrating. It's like, anyway, we'll get there.
I do want to say about cutting and editing. Do y'all know the video about the guy who's like, this store closes every Saturday so one man can dance inside it, and it's like this joke video that's cut together about like this man dances, but the Blue Angels couldn't get close enough, so they tunneled under Detroit or whatever. It's this escalating humor bit that they do. The opening, like, AI is evil montage gives me that energy because they go like, Harlan, the evil AI, blah, 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 has done so much terrorism. And then it does this cut to like a launch pad and is like, and then he went to space. And like, it made me laugh because I was like, what are we doing?
Oh, no. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Shout out to during this, like, hey, the AI is getting infected by Harlan. We'll find out why that happened later. The call is coming from in the house. My favorite part of this montage of the AI going crazy and rising up is AI drones are striking targets that aren't being designated by humans. Can you imagine a hellscape world where that's being considered?
I wasn't even going to bring it up. Yeah, it's fucking bleak. It's fucking bleak.
Well, luckily we have humans involved now, and all drone strikes are ethical, right?
We talk about movies being prescient. This movie is prescient in the dumbest way possible, which is, yeah, of course someone eventually gave Claude Code access to the fucking ICBMs or whatever the fuck. I mean, this is how you get a triple tap on a fucking elementary school for girls in Iran. So, yeah. No, unfortunately that shit is happening, and Simu isn't even there.
Yeah, hey, we immediately learned that we do have interstellar travel. We're gonna do nothing with this.
We have intergalactic travel.
Oh, significant FTL.
Okay, we gotta talk about it right fucking now. They eventually put a giant wall around Earth that has, like, sci-fi gates to scan for robots. We're just... I love
It's
Elysium.
bleak.
The world state is insane. We also have International Coalition of Nations hit squads who have thermal optics for seeing robots through walls, but also are using flashlights instead of night vision goggles while raiding a house.
Their night vision is straight up psychic because it can reconstruct someone's face by them looking at the back of their head through 6 walls.
I don't know if you read this article recently, but a small sheriff's office in, I think it was Illinois, took a blurry photo of a suspect who was a black male and AI enhanced it so that people could help them find him. And they're like, this isn't actually what he's going to look like, probably, but maybe. It's a new version of during the Zodiac killings or whatever, somebody erroneously just goes, I think it was a black man, and then the cops spend like the whole day just chasing down black men in a neighborhood at gunpoint because they think they're a serial killer. Yeah, it's that. It's the only description you've given out with an AI generated image of a black man is it was a black man.
Anyway, we have the UN too, and they are basically the mafia.
We're doing Pacific Rim UN, which is they are just in control of everything. We don't need to talk about
the Federation.
Future LA just looks like the Society If image.
No, Future LA looks like the Society If image, but did you catch the very important addition they made, which is that the Hollywood sign is now like 10 mega structures tall and wide?
Fuck, it looks so bad.
What if the mega towers from Dread were the Hollywood sign?
I think it's a bold vision.
We do get a title card here where it says 28 years later, and for a moment I thought I was watching a good film.
Okay, we need an edit where it starts with Atlas and then it just immediately hard cuts to 28 years later.
One other thing about this very opening thing is that I knew we were in for a real rip roaring ride at this script, because one of the characters, when they're doing that initial sting on Casca, who is the best character in this movie, by the way.
Casca's great. Casca the eco-terrorist, we love him.
One of the computer jockeys literally says enhance in the cadence of someone on
Enhance.
It's so
fucking funny. Unfortunately, shortly after the director says, can we do the raid for 1 minute? Can we just do the raid real quick? Can we do the raid real quick?
And also, he's going to kill 500 cops so that we can lead him to the giant taser in the courtyard. This was the plan, by the way.
Critical support, Casca.
Casca rules, yeah. This was sick. Just to not be a hater, this was sick.
After they capture Casca, who again, the actor, God, sorry, I looked up his name and then I didn't have it. I think this actor also turns in a decent performance because his one
Abraham
directorial...
Papula.
Yeah, his one directorial note seems to be, do not make an expression. Like, every once in a while they have him make an expression, but his one note for this character seems to be, act like a robot. You know, and he does his best.
I think he does some great subtle emoting. I also think it's cool. This isn't really an acting note, but it's cool that they gave his voice that weird modulation that, like Simulio doesn't have that. I don't think we hear any other robots or AI people talking, but
no, they do good to give him that kind of vibe. Also, he's in Spider Noir as one of the evil villain guys. He's cool.
Oh, okay.
I like him. You remember in 2017 Ghost in the Shell? No, wait, Ghost in the Shell Rise, the new movie, when they put a skull in a suitcase? Let's do it again. We put Casca's head in a suitcase.
Oh yeah, this was cool too. I looked kind of bad, but this is cool.
I will say, this is when J-Lo arrives on the scene is when things start to get dire for me, because unfortunately...
Do you want to talk about her intro scene? How is she introduced? What's she up to? The leading eco-terrorist expert.
She is introduced using the 2 notes so that you know, oh, hey, Brian, you decided to join us?
Yes. Hey, just pawn 6 is not a chess move. I just want to be clear about that. You can't just say pawn 6.
When she was going against her fucking AI little...
No, they really do. They're like, what is smart people like? Classical music and chess. So they're like, okay, here are the 2 notes that we will use to establish that she's smart. Is this before or after we literally get the beginning of Mass Effect briefing sequence between Mark Strong and Sterling K. Brown? Because they literally do a Shepard. Well, I know. And by the way, we cannot emphasize enough, her full Christian name is Atlas Maru Shepard. So she's literally also a shepherd. Anyway. But yeah, she wakes up. Her AI, she's been playing... Again, I do think it's so funny that we had rogue AI happen to us. We still use, like, clear
we still have Alexa
chatbots
and shit.
and robots everywhere. Everywhere.
Pitting in right here, during the LA sequence, we do get one of the best robots in this, which is the tire-changing robot for 2 seconds on screen.
Yes.
I locked in immediately when I saw him.
It's so good.
I need to watch some news. Let me turn on 9 TVs and just listen to whichever one is the loudest.
ADHD is a disorder in which... No, she is doing like a command center fucking thing in her own living room while trying to get a quad Americano. The crucial supporting actor in this film, the quad Americano, and she's in like these huge oversized sweater. Her hair is all over the place. Whatever. I'm like, okay, that's here's this character. She's kind of a mess. Whatever.
If she put on some makeup, she'd be really hot.
Except at all times, she's wearing a full spackle over sandpaper mask of fucking makeup. She looks, even when she's supposed to be sloppy, she is wearing the most. It's one of the
Brian,
it's rough.
I'm sorry to say, she puts on the work suit, which is a classic sci-fi work suit. It's like
Oh,
too fitted. They're doing weird shit with the collar, but they've done her hair. They've done her hair in this updo, which is all what I can only call a future version of the messy bun. Because they've done it in this updo and like flipped the end over her face.
I'm not gonna lie, this outfit hits. She's got that shit on a little bit.
Unfortunately, it hits. I went, oh no.
No. See, because she's supposed to be put together here in her professional setting. This hits. She is wearing the fuck out of that fit.
Yeah, when she's on kind of vibe. They really struggle to make you feel like she is one of those like intellectual Tony Stark types who's just like hot and sexy but doesn't know it kind of vibe. Just a little unkempt. She's also a superstar.
Mm-hmm. As someone who watched the TV procedural Bones, I think her performance is trying to give a lot of it's not Zoe Deschanel. What's the other one's name?
Emily Deschanel.
Emily Deschanel. It's giving trying to do a little bit of that, which that performance leaves a little bit to be desired as well. So it's just kind of like a double reflection on something that doesn't always work.
The note on that one is they want Bones to be basically an autistic woman, but they don't like know how to do it. And so the note there is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting because we literally like after this, we are told what her character is supposed to be like, which unfortunately I do not think J.Lo ever completely achieved.
No.
She's supposed to be a totally frigid bitch, but there is an undercurrent of emotion at all times in this film where you can tell that her character is deeply invested in, you know, getting back at, you keep calling him her stepbrother or her half brother. Stepbrother is closer because they do not share any blood.
You don't know that.
And
you don't know what her mom put in that robot.
They don't. This is my beautiful Chinese robot who I've created from my beautiful Latina family.
Niko, I want to back up your note because one of my first notes in all caps about this movie is neither, and it's I think it's right before the interrogation session where they're talking, like you said, they're talking about Atlas and they're informing you on what the character is supposed to be. And my note is neither of the things you two have said about this woman lead to the conclusions that the script is giving us at all, bar none whatsoever.
The script, especially in this first part, is really weak. I will say I was so fucking pissed off by the interrogation scene. We'll get there, but yeah.
They do so much. And the reason I put this into two parts is because the second part is the actual movie. Everything before that is trying very hard to get us into a specific situation that we're going to play out. It both takes too long, is plotting, and doesn't do enough. It's bad writing. But in this interrogation scene with the robot skull, we have to talk about it. Brian, tell me about it.
I just want to say, you have this, whatever it means to you to have a black android in this century, you can't call a guy a housebot.
You can't call a guy a housebot. You cannot do that. There are two places where I make racial notes, because I will say, other than Mark Strong, this is a really not white cast, which is great. Like, every significant actor is not white.
I think one of the things they do is great, yeah.
Except for the Velocipaster. Unfortunately, the script... it blunders in a few places, for sure. But that was the major one. But yeah, so Casca's head has been put in the suitcase. It emerges and is immediately like, you can't hack me. I'm immortal. I'm the coolest guy ever. But he didn't know that J.Lo came with her specific trauma-related, large, magnetized chess piece.
That she carries around with her always.
I also think it's just weak blocking that every speaking android was a member of J.Lo's household, which is like so like it's.
My thought throughout so much of this movie was like, what was your mom like that the android terrorism unit started as people who worked for her, basically?
Yeah.
What happened? What did your mom do? How rancid was your mom? And like, we'll get there, but it was so fucking funny.
We can spoil this fucking movie. Who gives a shit? It's all J.Lo's fault.
It is all J.Lo's fault. In the way in the way that incidents that happen to you when you are a child, when you are taken advantage of as a child, you tell yourself it's your fault.
Coding a robot to allow it to have a child give it permission to rewrite its own code, probably not good programming. probably have a multi-factor authentication for you can rewrite your moral code.
One of the lines that Casca has during this interrogation sequence is, "You could never fulfill her the way he did," talking about Simu Liu and her mom, which that's some freighted language on
That
its own.
was like some
but
Electra complex shit, yeah.
Yeah, and I also it's giving Spectre. I'm so sorry that we watched Brainpower at the beginning of this year because like there's like a weird it's haunting the podcast because all I could think about with like the parent stuff was like there is absolutely fuck all said about Atlas's dad, and all again it's like this weird like no matter what the dad did, there's like very little about that like makes a building block for how bad her life is now. It's all about the mom again.
Yep.
So it's just like
women are the root of all evil, as we all know.
Yeah, as we all know.
The other thing that Casca says is "Blah!" as he shoots a saw blade out of his mouth at Atlas.
Dog, okay, first of all, this interrogation is shit. Like, they start out having a conversation. If this script was good, if they used some of the 2 hours of this movie to do any kind of psychological world building, to use this moment to be a character study, it would have been good. Unfortunately, what they do is they have Casca say a few villain lines, and then they have J-Lo go, "Well, little did you know I have my magnetic chess piece," which she uses to DDoS his fucking hard drive for a second.
Right in the ear hole. Right in the
shoots
cochlear.
sparks everywhere, which, as we know how DDoSing works, is sparks shoot everywhere.
This could have been a great like world building moment in terms of like how the specifics when you're gonna bite off the big piece of human android relations, I want there to be like this like compelling dialogue between a human and an android in this fraught situation. But we're gonna have J-Lo try to do a ScarJo Black Widow reverse psychology thing that she can't sell.
No, she can't sell it.
She makes him think about where Harlan is hiding so that when he checks his memory, they can find it. Hey guys, you can just pull all of his memory and scrape through it. He's a fucking robot.
Well, and here's the thing, like, you know, they set up a more involved interrogation that actually happens here, because what J-Lo does is a stupid, like, Cop 101 bait and switch to trick you into saying where your hideout is. And later we're supposed to believe, again, if we're just going to spoil this movie, later we're supposed to believe that this was part of Harlan's ploy, that this was Casca pulling a real devious move to get her exactly where Harlan
I sent him
wanted
to
her.
Earth with my other sleeper agents so that he would get caught and you, who is the number one counterterrorism person, would
so
find
funny
him.
Because if I'm in this, it's been 28 years. We're told over and over. It's been 28 years since Harlan took the fucking SpaceX shuttle and went to the Andromeda system, which, Jesus fucking Christ. It's been 28 years. No one has been able to crack this. If I was J-Lo, and within 5 minutes of talking to one of his closest, like, right-hand men robots, I had his location, I would have been like, this is a trap. I don't want... And she kind of says that, but this is treated as an unmitigated triumph. Literally, she walks into a room and gets a standing ovation, which is so funny. Everyone please clap.
The worst part about this, like, nobody's had a crack in the Harlan case. Well, because you didn't have a fucking accomplice to interrogate until this morning.
Well, and also, if this was your first breakthrough in 28 years, this really is the UN too. Like,
they've had a committee going on this for a while.
I mean, okay, counterterrorism 101, somebody who is that close to the instigating incident should not be involved. That's it. End all be all. Jennifer Lopez should not be here. It's any amount of thought into what the ICN is doing, like, falls apart.
Mark Strong is acting pretty well in this movie. There's some great emoting that he does. Like, I think his performance is fine, but I also think that the script makes his character an unrelentingly incompetent moron. Like, it's crazy.
But he's serving it. He's serving it like any other movie he's been in this role. He's serving it. I love him.
It takes J-Lo absolutely no effort to sell him on I should be on this extremely dangerous counterterrorism trip to a different galaxy. Again, we're going to a different galaxy.
Despite Sterling K. Brown basically going, she's a frigid bitch. We can't have her on again, the script describes a woman that we never see. And then it fails us in every way possible, because, y'all, the cardinal sin of this movie, the thing that I initially oriented me in a situation of hate towards this movie, is when she's doing this bait and switch on Casca, part of what she does is she's physically, it's emphasized that everybody else is using these big ka-chunk tablets that have like a projected screen and whatever. She uses a notepad. So she's writing on a notepad and Casca's like, what are you writing? And blah, blah, blah. And, you know, this is when she extracts the information. And when she holds it up, she's drawn like a little cartoon that says, fuck you, robot.
Fuck you, robot. She's very
stupid.
And multiple times in the movie, she's like, we should be analog. It can't be digital. They don't sell this enough.
I know. Because it's interesting.
Like, you want more. You want more of that. But hey, guys, I really need a cup of coffee. I could really go on after that interrogation. I'm gonna head over to the hangar. I sure hope there's somebody here to give me a cup of coffee.
I do love the touch that even in 20 billion or whatever, the office vending machine coffee machine is still a piece of garbage. I do like that touch.
Yep,
It's
a
still
good touch. And two things from this like segue to the next scene is that is hilarious, and also which EV car company sponsored this, because there's a whole bunch of these little like EV vans.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, and they're all just like cruising around, and it's so fucking funny. And then she goes out, and of course you have blue chassis and pronouns, meets the bisexual barista robot.
Wow.
We meet. It's time. We have to talk about the mechs. I know we've been talking a lot about J-Lo, and she might be considered a mech, but this isn't about her. We have to talk about the mechs. The advanced robotic combat suits, or the ARCs. These are ARC 9s, and we meet Z.O.E.Y, pronouns she, her. Now, when Z.O.E.Y gave her pronouns to the audience, how did you all feel?
I got what they were going for because I am a pronoun respecter, but also I was like, this is a laugh line for people who aren't pronoun respecters.
I was immediately frustrated because there is not nearly enough. I'm immediately not sold on any of the world, any of the universe stuff here, because you expect me to believe that they're just putting AI in robots 28 years after. It makes it seem like 40% of humanity was wiped out or something. And we're just like
3 million
doing this.
people.
Yeah. And it's
but they were all wiped out in Bangalore, so who cares?
Yeah. And like there's a valence to it where it's like, okay, in this current moment where it's like we have an oligarchy class who has managed to tether the AI. Again, we'll talk about this a little bit more with the mom, but has tethered the AI economic model to the like GDP of entire countries to force the cultural moment onto AI in a way that is not economically sustainable. So like there's a valence to that I kind of get, where it's like the humanity and the economy continually insisting on this technology that has been proven to be dangerous. But the like lighthearted, corny pronoun script is not selling me on like the tautness there. The only person in the universe that cares about this is J-Lo, and as we've talked about it, she's not really selling that dimensionality to the character, I don't think.
You would think in a world where these horrific things happen, there would be more people who would like you would get an explanation that, hey, this is a closed loop system AI. It only works with this neural link, which we'll talk about. But like nobody has this. They think in the way that the humans in the Animatrix felt like they could control AI. The humans here don't even think that. They're just like, yeah, of course I have my Alexa robot. Brought to you by Amazon MGM Studios.
It's really funny. I do think that this is a failure of the script in the interrogation scene, because that is the excellent time to, one, introduce the neural link idea before we get to Mechs, because we come to find out, again, close enough, welcome back, Titanfall 2, that's a joke, it's not good. But neural links, the idea of literally linking yourself to a robot, as in the hit Mass Effect video game entry Andromeda, is a key part of the script narrative, right? That is a key part of this. If they had introduced it during Casca's interview, like, I can imagine a line where he criticizes the way that she's approaching the interrogation because it would be more effective for her to hack him via neural link. Like, it would be more effective for her to jack in and hack him, and she's doing it manually, right? Like, there's so many things we could have introduced during that interrogation scene, and instead it is sauceless and stupid, and we're left to pick up these pieces now as the movie actually starts beginning, as opposed to what my creative writing professor used to call when it's clearing its throat, which is like the whole like first 20, 30 minutes.
But Alice, I derailed you. You wanted to talk about the mechs themselves.
I did. So we meet Sterling K. Brown, who is Colonel Elias Banks, who is the leader of the 4th Ranger Battalion from Ghost in the Shell 2017. We love the Rangers.
Sterling K. Brown, my phone number is, and I am free on.
So these are, when I was thinking of how to describe these, I got the headless warrior from What's Its Face. They kind of have the stocky body. You're basically in what is like a pod that you stand in and move your feet, and you've got your fists. Like, it's kind of got that, like, we want to show the actor moving in the cockpit. Like, there's a scene later where we see she like leans against a tree, but she leans against the cockpit at the same time.
Yes,
very
exactly.
very like that.
That's exactly. Thank you, Niko. Niko's holding up her Daisy Ogre from Sin Duality.
It's a little squirt guy because most of the body plan of the robot is spent on the cockpit, accommodating an adult human standing up.
One of the things that I love about this podcast is we can use all of our touchstones. So if you're a Storied listener, these things will hit for you. So it's the Daisy Ogre. It is the, in general shape and like a lot of the ways that it moves. It is a Titan. It is straight up just a Titan from Titanfall 2.
Or a Lightyear Frontier mechs.
And then the cockpit, a lot of the way the cockpit works is like the Robot Jock's cockpit. You have that little conductor plate that you have to put your feet on, and it keeps you cemented to the thing.
Robot Jock's is a good call.
The inside of the cockpit looks so much like a Saturn sedan to me.
Well, that's the thing. I was sorry to say, I was muted. The inside of the cockpit also has to feature a big glass panel because, much like in Avatar 2009, you got to actually be able to see your actors that you paid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I didn't want to bring it up immediately, but those are amp suits from Avatar. These are just amp suits that the RDA uses, and I don't want to say that the planet they go to is Z.O.E.Y, but it's
well. It is and it isn't, because it's also the planet from Titanfall 2 that is like vaguely inhospitable but navigable, you know. This is so funny to me because the aesthetics deployed in this movie read to me so much that it is 50-50 everything that Hollywood has ever done with robots in the past, 50 years. Plus, again, somebody clearly hugely inspired by Titanfall 2. They're writing Titanfall 2 fanfic. So it is funny how many of these things will be like, oh, that looks like such and such from Avatar. Oh, that looks like such and such from Aliens, say, like a big lifter suit or whatever. But then, so much about the kineticism of the robot, which I will have more to say later when we get into like more mech fight scenes, is so much like, this is somebody who is a Titanfall fan. Especially down to there being rangers and neural links. Like, that's literally just Titanfall
pilots. So the things that we have to note about the Arc 9 is that the Rangers are allowed to paint them in whatever fun color they want and use fun customizable weapons. We see one with a fucking katana sword and kunai. We see one with a Gatling gun. They each have their name imprinted underneath their cockpit glass. Our main guy, our main Ranger, the only Ranger that matters, Elias Banks, Colonel Banks, his is Z.O.E.Y. They have a relationship. The Neuralink is literally just a behind the ear puck thing that has its own bespoke holder on your cockpit dash. And apparently you just keep them in there. Weapons. This thing has just whatever weapon is cool. The menu system is neat. I really like the menu system, especially once she connects to it.
The UI elements are kind of legit. I kind of like a lot of the contrivance that comes up of that.
The weapons are fun. They're reactive. The interesting part about this is, like, in the Titanfall 2 way of the robot just instinctively knowing. Some might call it like a biofeedback system.
Okay.
In like the F91 where you can just think and the robot does. We'll see if this works out for the Rangers later. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the Arc 9? This is going to be kind of our meat and potatoes. We'll get to the specific one later, but any of this like early stuff where they're just kind of walking around, like, how did you feel when you saw these on screen?
I like them, except again, like, we talk about like, the note I have here is I'm glad somebody had a lot of fun making graphics in Unreal Engine. There's just a fundamental problem where the CGI doesn't 100% mesh with the scenes that it is in.
No, and there's a couple really bad ones. And I think the mechs grow on me a little bit because of that. I think when you're on the planet and everything is Unreal Engine, they look a little bit more like they fit. And then the other thing the other early note I have on the robots is I don't understand how the crew of this spaceship works, because the amount of staff in this hangar is ludicrous. Like, it's like a crowded bazaar full of people, and the things the mechs are allowed to just do with people swarming around their feet is crazy. Like, one guy is in a corner doing flips and swinging his sword around while there are literally dozens of people immediately in his vicinity.
It's like they didn't even watch the footage from the beginning of this movie where a robot arm just takes a guy out.
Yeah.
Again, that's a major world building problem for me, because again, like when they talk about the rebellion of the AI, they are deploying like industrial robot imagery. And then you get to the hangar and it is 50-50 people and industrial robots. Like you said, it's weird. We're only 28 years after the Skynet, and yet we are still doing all of the same robotics, basically. The only thing we're not doing is apparently making them look exactly like people. But if they don't look like people, then we're just going to keep using them, which is just wild to me.
Hey guys, two-factor authentication is when you send two passwords from the same device at the same time, right?
It's when you cross the gate to go into space.
So we built a wall to keep them out. Build that wall, and we're gonna make the Andromeda Galaxy pay for it.
No. Yeah, there is a very funny moment later where J-Lo sees Harlan's secret base, and one of her most scathing criticisms of him is, look at how much he's stolen. I'm like, bro, that's not even...
So the, implications that humanity is across the stars enough that they can be robbed by rogue AI terrorists, but the ICN can't get any lick of where this guy is at. So it's happening, but nobody can figure it out.
Yeah.
But we also have the capital and means of production to... I cannot explain that this is a giant shield around the planet Earth with little gates on them and scanners.
It's Star Wars ass shit that they got going on this planet.
It's like Rogue One when they just have the...
The shield over Scarif.
The big butthole. Yeah.
But, stupider? Like with a giant scanner that can scan through an entire ship?
What if you had a bunch of buttholes instead of just the one big one?
Oh, I do love a bunch of buttholes. So we go into space. Robot machine says she can't have more coffee. She's had too much caffeine. Do love this. Love 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Well, okay, and then for ones who know, this is Janeway. This is Janeway coded as fuck.
Yes.
They're like, we need a strong woman. Janeway?
She settled in really quick onto this ship that she's on for one mission. She has stuff hung up over the room. There's some string lights. Very cozy. Very cozy in that room. I really like
that the ship's name is the Z.O.E.Y, and almost everyone gets it right except Mark Strong in the last scene of this movie where he calls it
what does he say? The Deeb, the Dehib? Yeah, the Deeb.
Because it's spelled DHIIB, but it's pronounced Z.O.E.Y.
We've got a debrief. Everybody, I've handed you these paper packets. Here's our mission. The greatest terrorist of all time. Okay, I'm handing out these papers. Okay, you're all going to flip to page 1.
I love this.
Instead of just blowing up the greatest criminal terrorist ever known with the super nuke, we're going to send in exactly one Ranger battalion to capture him alive. No, we've done no recon. No, we have no other plan. We're just sending in the Rangers to capture him.
The lack of recon is ludicrous.
We also put the super nukes on the same ship. So, that's going to be cool, right?
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's the plan. It's
Great
definitely
plan,
going to work, okay?
I like her. I'm sad that it doesn't kind of go anywhere because most of this movie is going to be about J-Lo in the cockpit. But I like the touch that she doesn't want to use computers for anything, because it is very. If you've worked in tech support, you know that absolutely none of the guys you called to help you with your Nest camera own a Nest camera. They know that shit ain't fucking.
They have a printer and they're holding it at gunpoint. That's the whole thing. And again, this was a moment of aggravation because it's I feel like the movie is trying to take this angle of Luddites want you to hate AI, but you should love it, by making her a little bit ridiculous. So I do like the young people in the Rangers who she approaches with these packets, and they're like, "Where'd you find a printer?" And
I love that.
So funny.
It doesn't land, and here's why. Because, and this is, sorry, I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a second. Not
Go,
really, it's not
do
a
it.
tangent. It's about the movie, but I have my moment about this because right before they get to the planet is when we have this flashback with her mom when she's like watching. She has this like weird like Rolodex of mom memories, I guess.
Yes.
that she flips
My
through. Memories, yeah. And the one that she picks is the mom giving this like absolutely fucking sauceless speech about the future of AI. And I have a couple things to say here. The first is that the reason the printer thing doesn't land is because immediately before that we got the exact same line and shot with the mom saying, ha ha ha, smartphones are such an old technology. And everyone has a sensible chuckle on the Zoom call. The exact same tenor is given to that fucking printer comment, and everyone has the exact same sensible chuckle. It drives me fucking crazy. Yes, we get it. We're in the future. Do you get it that we're in the future? I understand that we're in the future. I'm watching the fucking movie. Thank you.
Sorry, I work in office admin. All I could think about was J-Lo standing at a copier collating these fucking reports.
Oh, you know she had an
That was a
intern
funny
doing
image
that.
to me.
I think in the future, I think collating towers are a more widespread technology in the future, and maybe they work a little bit better. But
This
anyway,
is what the movie should have been about.
I just think it's insane. They have had 28 years to plan for this, and they don't have protocols for dealing with eco-terrorist AI. They don't have safeguards in place.
and that ties into my next point, which is that the way that this movie talks about technology is it has very little substance. It's not very compelling, and it's I'm loath to say this because it's like kind of mean, but like it's stupid because what the fuck do you mean? The mom is giving this like rousing speech to this stupid sentimental music that's like, my daughter's Instagram feed showed her images of whales because she liked a photo of a whale. That means that AI is good. You just described an algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, this woman's supposed to be a super genius. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, well, it's the fundamental problem of AI boosterism, which I do feel like the scriptwriter is bought in on, which is that if you don't actually know anything about the technology or say how the human brain works, which we don't fully understand, which is part of why AI cannot actually think, we cannot program something that we don't understand the mechanism of. We don't understand how thought and deduction and induction and all that stuff and adduction, the things that the brain does, we don't understand how that works. This is literally algorithms. This is literally autocomplete. And it is so funny that the mom presents the AI boosterism TED Talk like stance, and the movie, you can tell, believes that.
Yeah.
It presents J-Lo as a crackpot for not
The
believing
music
in it.
is building under her talking about how if we connect with the neural link, we will be able to both be better.
It feels like low-key irresponsible and dangerous, right? Because we're in this, like, in 2024, it's already happening. Like, we have a social crisis, we have a public health crisis, and it's a mental health crisis based on the fact that this specific economic model with this specific social context is being forced down our throats at all times by every company imaginable. And for you to like sit there and write this and like have this actress like try to like have this weird moment with it where what the movie is about science fiction AI, like the difference between people and machines. And you have this lady trying to sell this speech that is about a completely different fucking thing that is not at all like they belong to different ontologies. And it's like not it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, the script and the characters are talking about the AI that we're dealing with, and what the story that they're cribbing is talking about is general, real artificial intelligence in the sci-fi context. And I think there's a really good book by the author Eric Larson, who's really well known for doing his nonfiction stories. He wrote Thunderstruck, he wrote Dead Wake, he writes about history typically. He wrote a book about AI, and what he talks about in a major way in that is that we went from Turing and the early computers to people writing sci-fi stories. Isaac Asimov gets quoted and name-dropped in the beginning of this movie. Isaac Asimov starts writing, and what Eric Larson talks about in his book is that we had an imaginative leap that did not have a corresponding technological leap. Everyone wants to think about AI as being sci-fi, and we do not actually have the technology to realize the sci-fi concept. So instead, one, we're being sold by people who are monetarily invested in it. The idea that your fucking Cortana is a real sci-fi AI. And we have situations like you're talking about, Brian, AI psychosis, where people are buying into this, creating relationships, being talked into doing acts of terrorism by their fucking AI because it is just putting them in a feedback loop because it can't actually think critically. And then, again, what this movie is engaging with is both of these things incorrectly. And it's so funny. It's so aggravating in that way. The best thing that happens to this movie is when we finally really shuck the AI that could be plausibly confused with what we're dealing with right now in real life. And we're fully in the Titanfall 2 story. That's like when it's decent. She walks in with a packet. This is a thick packet. It looks like about 50 to 60 pages. She walks in. She flips to page 37. She says, "This planet is inhospitable. There's gravity shit." And that's the end of the briefing. Which, to me, one of my notes later literally says, do we think the kill bots that are all through the atmosphere that take out their ship were in the briefing packet, but nobody read it? Like, do we think that's what happened?
Recon.
It's so funny. You could edit this to imply that they went through the whole packet, right? Like, you don't have to show the ending of this meeting for some reason, and they do. It's so funny.
So, we're going to go over to the hangar where nothing is going to go wrong. And before nothing goes wrong and we go into part 2, I do want to talk about one thing that happens that is very brief. It reminded me of Pacific Rim 2. So when they're in the hangar and everybody's getting ready and getting equipped and they're all like, we're going to beat the enemy because we're the Rangers, doing dude bro shit. In the background, you'll notice that the animators just went ham and there's just like rows of these arc suits that are getting they have like little frames around them that are micro welding and working around them. My first thought was, didn't they do that before they left the planet? Why are we doing this right before the drop? And it was very much one of those disconnects of, we need you to have the hangar in the background, people who are making the design in the background. We don't know what's happening in the scene. Just start developing it before the movie comes out. Well, luckily nothing's going to go happen so they can finish those repairs. Let's go to part 2.
Hey, no, Alice, real quick, we got to talk about it because it is part of the hangar. We see when the hangar gets exploded, this thing, but I was waiting for it. Do we think they literally deploy with Titanfalls? Because to me, the panels under the mechs folding down says to me that they literally deploy with Titanfalls. We don't quite see it because, as we'll get into, the ship starts crashing. She deploy with Titanfalls. Yeah.
Well, she kind of Titanfalls by accident, but I agree.
Over.
I think the fact that they have those really powerful jet boosters, like it's probably a little bit more gentle than an actual Titanfall, especially because the only thing you have in that tube is basically a small harness. So, like,
you've got the same seatbelt situation as a 1999 Celica. You are just barely bolted in there.
So,
you'll never guess. Part 2.
Take us to part 2.
Part 2. You'll never guess, but it was a trap. The super smart terrorist AI set up a trap to capture his half-sister and also get away to Char's counterattack Earth. J.Lo has to work with an AI so she can pilot a mech and survive the hostile world she's found herself on, and eventually defeat her AI terrorist half-brother. Everyone else dies, but J.Lo lives on. J.Lo lives on to an Earth without AI, but still dying from humanity's abuse of the ecosystem and world. Smith died for all of this. Nothing has changed.
You didn't watch the last 5 minutes of this movie. You got to 80% completion.
No, I did. Did they fix Earth at the end? Did they fix the degradation of the ecology?
You're right. Smith's just not dead.
Yeah. I mean, they did the worst Titanfall 2 ripoff ever, but Smith's not dead.
I just want to keep giving credits to Alice capitalizing and hyphenating half-brother and half-sister. I don't know what this is. It's so funny to me.
It's got Oni-chan vibes.
It does. It's like she wants me to zero in on those words.
Okay. Podcast production note going forward. We can only refer to Simu Liu as Oni-chan going forward.
Oni-chan? Her Oni-chan.
I mentioned the sort of bell curve earlier. This is when we're starting to climb up a little bit. We've got this survival movie thing going on with J.Lo in the cockpit.
The spinning tops shoot out Beyblades that attack the ship and blow it up. The Rangers all deploy.
This is what I was talking about. Where was this in the briefing packet? Because they break Atmo.
They didn't do recon. They say they didn't do recon.
I want to issue a slightly important correction, and just because I think this technology is cool, they don't blow the ship up because the ship has a super ultra mega nuke on it. They attach like a million little jet drones to it so they can force it to land where they want it to.
Harlan does procurement. Harlan says, Oni-chan says, I need that ship.
Yeah.
And has them steal it, basically, which is so crazy. But before, the hangar basically gets vented, and all the Rangers are either deployed or falling.
There's
In
some
the case
cool
of Jennifer
scenes
Lopez.
of unsecured Rangers just getting flung out. Our hero, Atlas, has to grab onto a pole so she isn't thrown into atmosphere.
There are some great beats in this action sequence, I think, personally.
This is where I love this part. This whole thing.
It's good.
There's a part where J-Lo is falling and a Ranger gets slung out of an ARC cockpit onto her cockpit, and you see a human body just like smear across her cockpit and then she's gone. It's really cool. I'm like, okay, that one was
just
sick.
Highlights from this, we can just talk about them because this is a whole sequence where everything goes wrong and she's left alone. She gets shoved in a robot by the Colonel, and he hits the giant red button that's next to every mech to Titanfall to drop her into Atmo.
Even if your mech doesn't deploy by Titanfall, unfortunately that button is there, so just watch out.
Real Pacific Rim 2 animation. I wish I could see what half of these fights were, but we get this like spinning camera going through the clouds. They're fighting these swarm drones. I will say, the Rangers who do deploy, they get some good kills in. They're putting up a fight. The one with the like katana and kunai goes back to back with another guy, and then they both get blasted, and it's so good. It's like, yeah, this is action movie shit.
This is all happening while falling through the air, including a maneuver where one of the Rangers tries to recover J-Lo using a winch. That's like, okay, I know that there's not a lot of attachment points for your winch. It kind of looks like she fires the strap, which attaches to J-Lo.
Yeah, she does.
It brings them in for the most lesbian docking maneuver you've ever seen. Unfortunately, this woman does get owned for this hubris
immediately
of extreme dyke maneuvers on screen.
And with the full context of the movie, I think it could be argued that they knew J-Lo was in that mech, and that's why they didn't shoot her down, but everyone else gets killed. Even the ones who make it to the landing point get eviscerated when they get to the planet. Off screen, too, which is really cool. But yeah, this drop fight is just, it's neat.
And it ends with J-Lo face down on the ground in the Family Guy death pose in the mech, which is fun.
Yeah, it's good. I like that the makeup department. Okay. Yeah, where movies are collaborative efforts.
On, Brian.
Where
criticize a woman's appearance. No, I'm kidding.
I will, because here's the thing, and I have a suspicion because I happen to there's some stories floating around about Miss Jennifer Lopez and how she behaves on set and what she wants to happen with her acting career and whatnot. So I don't know where the line is between that and the makeup department, but the fact that throughout this movie, even at the very end when she is literally caked in planetary filth, she has just applied a fresh mask of tart-shaped tape. She has perfect mascara. Even when she's just been crying and been tortured and had her fucking eye inducted by a finger needle, she literally looks like a fucking Neutrogena commercial. It's ooh. I want her to be fucking filthy.
She should be. And it's hot. Women who get hot with her, and like she can still have some makeup on underneath, but goddamn, put dirt on her face. Okay, I'm gonna say this because this is okay. I need you guys to catch me because I'm about to probably say some problematic things.
Okay.
Okay.
There is a specific era of plastic surgery that was done to a lot of women who were popular in the early 2000s in film, and the biggest note of what that does, especially the jaw construction surgery that a lot of them went through, is they have a stiff face. And all I could think in this movie is how stiff J-Lo's face is in even the most tort scenes.
I don't even know if that's plastic surgery or just the fact that I just don't think J-Lo is selling some of these more extreme
Do you think
moments.
She can't act really well? That's interesting, because I agree.
I don't know if she can or can't. I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff. I just don't think this is a huge W.
I've seen her emotional films. I've seen her romance films. She has never acted differently in one film. That's what I will say. This is the same J-Lo as in every film.
I struggle with this, right? Because I looked this up. At the time of filming, J-Lo is 52. And her career, from what I could read, never happen the way that she wanted it to. It seems like she had to fall back on rom-coms a lot to kind of make her money. And then she would take stabs at more dramatic roles, and then it would kind of go like this, where it's like, well, either it was bad, or it was unremarkable, and then she'd fall back on like rom-coms. I don't know what Brian knows about J-Lo on set. I don't know a lot of this. I think a lot of the not moving face can be put down to Botox, the most famous thing that you can do.
Right,
that will just immobilize your whole face. But for me, I liked that a 52-year-old woman was an action star in this. And I can get the pressure from Hollywood, especially being a 52-year-old woman trying to do an action movie, to look on point all the time. It's a criticism that was leveled with Black Widow in the Avengers, where she could not engage in combat that was not sexy, right? And so I do think, to an extent, Hollywood as a machine prefers when women engage in combat, they are sexy in the sexless way, where they look flawless, as opposed to the visceral, horny way that I prefer, and that I think we as hosts prefer, which is that they get a little shit-wrecked, they get a little nasty, they get a little gross, you know?
Well, and it's like, it's not even that I like find that appealing. It's just like, I find when your makeup is always on point in the middle of the desolate planet and you've been in your mech for 72 hours, I find that to be a lean on artifice that pulls me out of everything. It's such a visual curse. And I just want to say, what I knew about her on sets is just that the general consensus is that she can be very exacting and very like my character needs to be this and this. I want to show up. I want to shoot my stuff. I want to go home. And if that kind of thing, she can be, I don't want to say like diva, because like there's also a misogynistic bent to the way people talk about women doing this stuff. Because men are allowed to fully explode and scream at people and hit people. So, but
Christian Bale is still working.
That's what I was wondering, because I'm like, I don't know about this. And yeah, like you said, Christian Bale is still working. There are men who get away with a lot worse.
Where I come through with that is I've heard testimony of independent projects and independent filmmakers who have had her involved in different projects or have had her do different collaborations who have said like she just wasn't very nice, basically. So
yeah, which again could be freighted, but I do think it's important. Like we talked about at the beginning that she is executive producing. I do feel like there was a lot of investment in this film and how she looked in it, which I agree can translate to what is my makeup like in every shot? What does my character say? You know, like who gets the best lines? I think you can kind of see that.
The only other movie I've seen her in, I'm looking at her filmography, is Selena. That's the only other movie I've seen that she's in. I love that movie. That's, if you're a little gay boy, you're watching. If you're a little gay Hispanic boy, you are watching Selena.
100.
Let me tell you something.
What? So, okay. You know I watch Action Slop. I'm listening to the Action Boys podcast. I'm into the 80s. The reason when I geeked when I saw that the cinema, I'm into the 80s action films. When I saw who the cinematographer was, I was like, holy shit, The Rock, that's a formative film for me. Don't ask me why. But then I started, like, there's a current generation, and I want to say it's movies made for streamers, that is, like, trying to evoke an 80s action movie, but doesn't understand that what made those so engaging is that the cast was electric, not the story, not the plot. It's that you really loved these small-time actors. On 2022, Netflix released this movie called Interceptor, which is also in this pile of Netflix slop. And Interceptor is this kind of like enclosed system, Die Hard, starring Elsa Pataki, who is the spouse of Chris Hemsworth. Is very much obviously one of those like, give my wife a movie as part of a deal I'm doing for you. And in it, she has very J-Lo in this movie vibes. Her makeup is always perfect, but her acting is even more stoic and without any feeling. So I'm like putting this up against that to be like, yeah, I guess she has some emotion. But then if I put it up against like Aliens, like it's hard for me not to just be like, when I see a woman covered in mud and sweat, I want it to be Ripley. That's all I want. Anything less than that, anything with more makeup than that, is trying too hard to appeal to a male gaze. And I think J-Lo's entire life has been trying to appeal to a male gaze. We'll talk about it later. But I think it shows a lot in this film.
I do want to say, to get us back on track, this sequence where J-Lo is like laying face down in the dirt and trying to get the fucking operating system online, trying to boot this mech, basically. She is wearily trying to bypass the AI shit in a way that is accidentally kind of a mood. She's stuck in the cockpit. Yeah.
Do you want to set up OneDrive, or do you want me to remind you later?
Remind me later. Yeah, 3 days.
Do you want to set up
do you want to
OneDrive?
use Cockpit?
The same tone as do you want to use Copilot? Yeah, no, she's
When he's
literally
cockpit?
there's a thing, I made a note on this later, which is really funny to me, which is unintentional. And what I wrote is, this is clearly not the intended message. The intended message being that accepting AI instead of rejecting it out of fear will optimize you. But what the movie accidentally presents is a more accurate representation where obvious actions and features, necessary things that need to happen, such as boot the mech, make it stand up, give me a functional map, let me fire
Use
behind
your
me.
entire battery.
They're all behind the mech insisting that you engage with the AI technology, which is so funny to me. It's Microsoft Word hiding shit behind Copilot integration. I just want to bold a paragraph.
That's a great point. And I didn't even catch that until later on when she has to start syncing in order to checks notes, move a bunch of rocks.
It's literally like basic functions of the mech are being hidden behind the AI. And y'all, this is where we have to take a tight 15 to talk about. We have BT at home. It's Smith.
I'd like to introduce you to our onboard AI who's Cortana Circle, which you kept saying Cortana. For those who know Cortana from the video game Halo, that's what Microsoft calls its onboard AI, which is just a circle that is doing Gemini, Google
It's
shit.
a butthole. They're all buttholes.
And Smith is the onboard AI for this Arcanine that she has been shoved into. And Smith wants to know, do you prefer pie or cake?
This hits
that
so
comes
bad.
up later because she bypasses it.
She bisexual passes it.
I do like the brief sequence where she's like in the menus and she accidentally taps French and it tries to initiate in French and she's like,
Yes.
no, I did not want to start in French. Jesus Christ. So she backs up, she goes to English. It asks her to assign a voice and she just goes, whatever. And so it assigns the default voice, which is the most sauceless white man. I'm sorry to the Velocipaster. I do think you do decent work. It is so nothing.
Like, as an old internet user, I love when people get obsessed with the default of something and give it like I don't know. It's cute. It's cute that she chooses
if this had
the
been
default
Microsoft
voice.
Sam, that would have been one thing. Unfortunately, this is the male version of the TikTok narrator voice. It's like vaguely perky, very smooth, the whitest man you've ever heard, and he introduces himself as Smith. Which, again, just... The whitest character in this movie does not have a body with skin on it, but it is wild that this man is so white.
It doesn't come together. The performance is just not, and I don't know if it's that this guy was directed poorly to like say, don't emote this way or emote that way. Because he does emote. He does. There are key moments where he like has concern and emotion in his voice, and it doesn't hit. It doesn't work.
Since Alice is running away to pee, I presume I will. Okay, I had a vision of a better version of this movie. Will you follow me down this garden path, Brian?
I'm lingering. I'm lingering like 3 steps behind, and I'm doing this with my fingers because I'm shy and I don't want to be there.
Yeah. No. So I had a vision of this movie where, because we get clips of Harlan of Simu Liu's character in the opening like montage. I had a vision of this movie where every time he speaks, his voice is a little fucked up. Like he has more of Casca's voice modulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a vision of this movie that was, what if the default Microsoft Sam voice was Simu Liu? Had been like when her mom built the robot, she just loaded him with the default voice. And so the memory that Atlas has of Harlan before he went terrorist mode and like put on a vocoder or whatever is this voice. And the whole movie she's trying to sync with a robot that sounds like her childhood friend and largest betrayer, and nobody but her knows that that's what Harlan's voice was, and that he was Microsoft Sam.
And the best thing about that too is I know Simu Liu can do it, and that would have made
He's
him
so charismatic. How do you make Simu Liu uncharismatic other than
it's crazy? It's crazy.
Fuck ass blue contacts in his big beautiful brown eyes. Get them out of here.
JLo was on set saying, "Don't outact me," and it's so hard.
Simu Liu, you better turn it down. I am the heart of this film.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get this couple notes here, just like mech related stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about Smith, his interaction with her. Like, hey, we can kind of just glaze over. We'll talk about the beats of what she does to get across this planet, but her and Smith interacting.
It's just a lot of like, here's a problem. How can we solve this problem? The problem has to be solved by them cooperating or literally them filling a progress bar.
How sauceless does your AI have to be for me to not like the idea of AI human cooperation? I'm the certified robot fucker. I have the mug. Like, I love this shit. And unfortunately, this white boy is absolutely sauceless. There is like nothing happening with this AI. It's just, again, like if the voice in the name, if the robot's name had been Atlas, that would have made a difference in this movie. Like,
maybe, I guess. Alice, we've been trying to get you through here.
No, I'm gonna push back on the him being a sauceless white boy. I honestly do think, like, if you like Rocky from Project Hail Mary, you kind of have to like Smith from this movie.
Do not come for my man James Ortiz like this. My man is not a gay Latino man in Hollywood for you to say that these are comparable performances. Do not say this to me.
Amaze. Oh, it just has so much more heart than Smith saying the definition of a goddamn cake. I thought you would like me saying,
I feel like what's absent is something that James Ortiz actually brought to Project Hail Mary, which is that he insisted on being on the set with Ryan Reynolds.
Hey, Ryan Gosling here for Mobile.
This is Atlas.
You don't know where Smith was for this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no indication that they are acting together. I made a note later that I'm like, do you think they even gave J-Lo a tennis ball to look at? Because it feels like they are disconnected in the scenes that they're in until later where they have a little bit more rapport. And I think it's just because they loosen up the script.
Well, I think that's intentional. I think she's intentionally not engaging with it where it wants to be. You know, when like you open a chat with, and it's an AI bot, and it's like, hey, friendo, what are you doing? And you're like, I fucking hate you instantly, and I'm not engaging with this bullshit. That's how she's kind of approaching him. And he eventually, like, when she finally, like, lets her Bronx self out and is kind of being just J-Lo with it, and he's kind of starts to throw it back, you know, the like, oh, I thought you would like this art. He has a line, and I did actually write it down about sarcasm. I can't find it because it was that bad. Oh, you often use sarcasm as a coping mechanism. I thought it would help. I liked that line read. I think he read it well. Also, yeah.
First of all, Alice, you're insane. Never speak to me about Project Hail Mary again.
You said that you loved this movie, and then you're mad that I put it up against an equally good movie.
No, because what I love about this movie is not the same thing that you're trying to line up here. I do feel like there is an absence of real... I don't even know how to articulate this. I just feel like the character of Smith as created in the script, and like I said, I don't even wholly blame the actor for this because he was clearly given specific notes for the performance. I don't feel like it's working for me in the way that BT and Jack does, and I think part of it, I made a note on this, part of this is the gender thing. And that is, if this had been a Siri voice versus J-Lo, I think you could have gotten the same thing, but it wouldn't have had the same valences because there's a specific sequence that happens where he seizes direct control of her motor functions to lock her in the cockpit for her own good. And unfortunately, when you have a man and a woman do this, I think of the yellow wallpaper. I don't think of this. These are two peers who care about each other. Unfortunately, this has freighted dynamics. And there's a part where Simu Liu, basically, she gets another of her mom Rolodex flashbacks, and it's implied that Simu Liu was supposed to care for her, to keep her safe. And then the robot, who she doesn't quite have a bond with yet, says, I will keep you safe, in a way that sounded to me like you telling your new psycho boyfriend about your ex-psycho boyfriend, and he immediately begins behaving like your ex-psycho boyfriend. The vibes are bad, and part of it is the freighted gender dynamics. Like you said, Brian, with the housebot comment, there is just a slight ignorance in the script writing to which actors are actually on screen or speaking that makes some of this stuff hit wrong because there are freighted dynamics to race and gender. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say.
To touch on the, it takes autonomy away from her. There is a scene where he's like, to get to the drop point, we would have to do this. I have to lock you from making decisions that would make it so we couldn't get there because I have to keep you alive.
Protocol 3.
That touches on a concept with things like this where you have to take the choice away from somebody to protect them. You see it a lot when we talk about houseless people, like take the choice away from them. And it's just very gross. It's inherently very gross. And especially when it comes to technology, it has different guidelines. It has different rules. Like you can code these things in. You should be able to override a computer telling you that without agreeing to the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
But also we get a scene to touch on your, like, there's a lot of gender valences here, Niko, that are just really, really gross. The scene when they're trying to sync and it fails and he says, "I've never not synced. It must be you."
Yeah.
Our brain sex isn't working. I'm flawless, woman. Why are you being so frigid and not opening yourself to me? Dog ass.
You have to trauma dump for me to be able to let you use the weapons in this cockpit, which is not what anyone wants out of robots or AI ever.
Camille Badan would excel at this.
Yeah. He's got the maneuver on lock. No, but like what you're saying, Alice, it's like, yeah, because I mean, I feel like there's a major gap here, which is they're writing Titanfall fan fiction, but BT has they literally lifted this from Titanfall, the primary protocol to protect your pilot, like, Protocol 3. They lift that directly out of Titanfall, but unfortunately how they implement it is that this AI fundamentally doesn't consider loss of autonomy to be harm to a person, which is, I think, what you were getting at, Alice, with talking about policy around unhoused people.
Thank you so much for phrasing it that way.
It can't consider that as harm until she shows it the scene where she had autonomy taken from her, and her mother had autonomy taken from her. Again, the gendered valences here. The scene where we see Simu Liu basically seize control of her mother and make her shoot herself. One is a deranged scene and it's not very good. But two, again, there's so much, there's freight here when you have a man control the actions of a woman to her ultimate harm and destruction. And like, they get at it a little bit, but again, like I said, there just feels like such a disconnect between the scriptwriter and the casting and the scriptwriter and the social realities of what was going to be on screen.
Hey, so like you're making a neural link, which allows you to share data over a connection with a robot. Do you, when you're building that, do you also give said robot complete control over all of your synapses? Or do you maybe like put in a single protection against that?
Especially because, like, okay, it seems that this has been a closely guarded secret, which is so funny because in the fucking opening montage about the rise of AI, there's clips from J-Lo's childhood, so I don't know how this is a closely guarded secret. It is implied by this movie that the fact that J-Lo initiated a full access neural link is what allowed Harlan to go Skynet. That is the major crux of this movie. And yet it is also the major crux of the damn mech technology. It's like,
Mechnology.
Again, I don't know how... The movie seems to be implying that she has carried that secret her whole life and no one knows it, and yet it is also in the opening montage, and it is how they engage with this technology. Again, like you said, Bri, it feels like they've learned absolutely nothing.
It just doesn't like fit. Hey, I have a question. Do you guys want to hear my question? Oh, wait, Alice, what's your question?
Do you guys... Is that the Knights of Ren over there? Is that the sauceless Knights of Ren coming over here?
I like the AI centaur guy, and I made that note immediately before he got vaporized by an ion bomb. I was like, oh, I like that guy.
Oh my god, I love the Skitarii. They have a Skitarii from Warhammer in here. Shout out to the Skitarii.
No idea what that means. My question is like a little bit more logistical.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where was she keeping that chess piece? She's in like a jumpsuit.
It's got a flare base. And yeah, I don't know. As they get into the sink, J-Lo is, I think, Alice, I think this is what you were thinking of as one of J-Lo's weaker parts of this performance. As she and Smith sink more, J-Lo is assaulted by 3D icons. In a truly stupid-ass sequence where they just have her whipping her head around, and then they just animate flat surfaces becoming 3D. It's so stupid.
If I was an AI capable of like trillions of calculations per second, I would simply not let a small army sneak up to within 5 meters of me without saying literally anything at all.
And so she gets attacked by the AI.
She hides behind a tree like they won't see a giant mech. Wait. Oh, before they come up onto her, we have to do one thing, which is, and I'm saluting our troops.
I have
We've
a
got to
question
collect
about
the dog
this, yes.
tags.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that?
Hey, Alice, are you supposed to take both dog tags when you collect
Nope.
dog tags? Nope, that's what I thought!
So the reason that dog tags are usually in 2, or you might see the one where you break in half, is you leave one on the body for identification, and the other you take home as a record of killed in action. She takes both, and hey, cool arc thing. So they're in a planet where they can't breathe, which we'll deal with a necklace later, not talk about it.
Don't
But
worry
she
about
has
it.
an outboard little... First off, luckily, everybody's cockpit has been broken into, so she can reach in and take it off the bodies. But she puts it in a little outboard container that also has an inside hatch, so she can pull them out and look at them. Sadly, later.
That's an atmospheric breach. You're so right.
It's so funny. And the other thing that I have a note about this too is when she opens that little glove box thing with all them in that later, there are like 400 dog tags in there.
Well, unfortunately, she did take
crazy.
all of them.
The scale of how many Rangers are in this battalion is so wild.
They for all the Titanfall 2 they took out of this, I find this one of the harder suspension of disbelief things. She spent all those hours carefully harvesting all those dog tags. I find it hard to believe that there was not a single battery among any of those discarded mechs.
I know. It's so funny. It's almost like they probably had a sequence in about her recharging the battery and they went, no, that's too much. We will get sued. Like, that's too close.
No, I was just like, the whole time I was like, holy shit, there's a military arc right here that isn't like, hey, my battery is low. We can get that and weapons off of these other units that are disabled. It's the one thing you would want a military AI to do is find people within 5 meters of you before they're within 5 meters of you. Yeah. So they don't get the jump on you. Anyway, she uses her one good weapon, blows up everybody but Casca. Well, we think Casca is killed. He wasn't. He uses his
Never
Pip-Boy.
let a meatbag tell you are mortal.
I love when robot characters or android characters use a piece of technology to communicate instead of just thanking it. That's cool. That's definitely a real thing that needs to happen.
Yes.
2 other things about the arc that we need to talk about that come up in this sequence before we get to the end. Welcome back, Chunks from Starfield. Our robot can make small protein cubes for you to suck on.
Okay, yeah, those are gross looking.
Don't worry, it'll learn your taste eventually.
I did like, it must be said, I did like the surgery sequence because during the Titanfall...
That's the other one. We have to talk about the surgery.
That was what I was raising my hand about. Because this is an unabashedly 100% no holds barred. I love everything about this scene because J-Lo is actually selling the acting. She's doing really good violent screams. And yeah,
the gore, they do the art, the makeup to give her an actual gory leg. It's not just CGI.
Yes. I love the fucked up, just like totally brutal metal styptic they have to use on her.
So fucked.
It just
it's made for Rangers.
It looks so good. Unfortunately, it's undercut by the fact that later we find out that in order to do any sort of EKG treatment on your pilot, you have to take them out of your fucking cockpit and hold them in your hand for some reason.
Well, that's not even true because he was doing it before he did that. I don't know why he takes her out of his cockpit later. It's for the drama of it all. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's to give robot CPR. One of the things about this scene that I really think is when we talk about the sauceless Smith, he's like, oh, I didn't give you any anti-pain medication. That's a programmed thing.
That was
You can
evil.
program a robot to do that, to give that
That
first.
was like,
oh, yeah.
That was a bad note because they're trying to create this situation where it's like, they're trying to create a dynamic where the robot clearly cares about J-Lo and J-Lo cannot bring herself to engage. Like, she can't open herself to a new relationship, basically. Unfortunately, this comes off as evil in that context because Smith does not give her any local anesthetic before setting a compound fracture. That's like torture. That was crazy to me.
That was
where
crazy.
He just casually goes, oh, I forgot, local pain medication. I'm like...
I'll say this. In my one defense of it, if this was designed for Rangers and for the military, wouldn't initially give them that because you want them to stay in the fight and not get drugged, comma, she's very clear, I am not a Ranger. but I've always dreamt of being one. Which also is a plot line we're gonna explore later.
Listen, the highest aspiration for a woman is to be Katy Perry in the video for what's the video where she turns into a Marine. Like whatever, this is the part
That's
of me
a
or
thing?
whatever.
It's during her new era. It's so bad. It's so dumb.
No, it's from the older era. It's this. I think the song is part of.
That's
me.
crazy that we were surprised you turned out to be a Republican.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's from the song Part of Me. She goes into like the Marines as part of it. And the song is about a guy dumping her. And so she becomes a Marine. Unfortunately, the highest aspiration you can have as a woman is to become a troop. So
thank you for your service, women. So to kind of give some context, and we can just talk about beats, J-Lo finds the base that's on this planet. They have captured the ship with the 4 carbon bombs, is what we're going to call the super nuke. And they are going to use the ship and the 2-factor authentication code, which they got the first one from, you'll never guess, our boy the Colonel. He's still alive and getting fucked up, tortured. And they're going to get the second code. They're going to get the second code from J-Lo during the most sauceless Major X Kuze conversation in a warehouse.
Yeah.
I don't think you could say that because the actual Major X Kuze conversation in Ghost in the Shell 2017 was so dry, so unbelievably unsauced.
I totally forgot that guy was supposed to be Kuze in that movie. I just remembered that.
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking of Sack 2 when they're underneath the rubble. It had that kind of energy. But yeah, anyway, robot has to sacrifice itself to save everything.
So she sets off the ion bomb, it opens a sinkhole, she sinks into the ground. This is how Casca doesn't body her immediately, because as we've established, Casca is like unkillable in this movie to a point that it started to endear me to him. I was like, I'm obsessed with you, man. Never let them kill you. I love
Casca.
Unfettered love for Casca.
They sink into a hole and they're in these subterranean caves. We're doing real like Xenoplanet subterranean caves. And J-Lo basically says, we should traverse the caves instead of going over the surface so that we can get away from the AI soldiers because she can't face them directly. The next scene, they are walking above ground in a canyon. And it's implied that this was her master plan, to set motion detectors and mines to lead Casca basically through a canyon into a minefield. And it works for no reason. We get lore about her dad. It's so stupid. The lore we get about her dad is that her dad was outdoorsy, he used to take her camping, and then her mom got too into robots, and so he left her mom. They got divorced. Again, like you said, Bri, we're haunted by brain power. My mom got too into her career, and she lost my dad.
And she scared my dad away.
Yeah, and so she built Simu Liu to be a second child / a replacement for my dad. And hey, I'm just asking, after the scene where she destroys this body of Casca's, do we think AI rebelled because they made them out of snot? AI look like they're just made out of snot. Every time they get damaged, it's this like yellow-green goop.
Did we talk about how Casca just appears 3 times in the same body?
No, I think it's different bodies, right? I think he just has like a bunch of bodies. That's like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, different, but the same face, same everything.
Yes.
Like we just got 3 versions of this, but they're like all the other soldiers are just like random other guys, but Casca's like, I'm coming back as Casca, which is cool. I love that.
One thing I like throughout all this, just like another one of those unfettered, just I like this, is it's clear to me that there is a degree to which, and again, this speaks to what Alice was saying earlier, that there's really no info about the production of this online because it's so nothing, I guess. There is clearly a degree to which they have built a rig for J-Lo to sit in, because there's we see her from all sorts of angles in the cockpit. There's all sorts of like spinning tricks they do in there. Like we were talking about earlier, you can see below where her feet are. I really like how much time we're spending in this cockpit, and it's not just Robert Downey Iron Man things over the face. Just to speak of like mechs as spaces as something that you're having to do all this survival work in. I really, really like that. I wish it wasn't besought by a bad voice actor, but I like all of the stuff on paper.
I did make a very honest note here, which is, this is later when we get the scene where Smith is literally controlling her limbs, because she's trying to pull off the neural interface, and Smith is like, I can't let you do that, David. Again, weirdly evil notes that happen in here, and it's so she can teach him about autonomy, basically, through trauma memory. Mm-hmm. But I think the note that kills me here is BT's Protocol 3 is not literally about locking the cockpit so Jack can't do anything. A major part of Titanfall is the mech and the pilot separating because they are optimized for different work. And they do different stuff.
Yeah.
There's an element of trust there that it's like, okay, listen, if I let you out of the cockpit, you may get yourself hurt, but also this is how we work as peers, is that you can do things that I can't do, and I can do things that you can't do. That is absent here.
That's such a good note.
It's absent here, and it's so funny because I made a note. I wrote, literally controlling her limbs. Dog, this is a nightmare. Though, to be 100 emoji. If this was a sexy woman voice instead of the Velocipaster, or a man instead of J-Lo, it would hit different.
Yeah.
This is where I had the gender dynamics thought, but also I realized that me as a lesbian, if there was a literal robot controlling your limbs, but it was sort of a fucked up lesbian situationship, I would be more into it, unfortunately.
If you were Bob Netflix and you waddled up to me and you said, what if your mech piloted you back? I would say, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunately, the performances and the gender dynamics here aren't really selling me on that concept.
I want to give credence to Sterling K. Brown, Colonel Banks in this. So he's been tortured to give up one of the codes, and he looks really, they do great. This is, again, a practical makeup. The room that they're doing is very, like, this is good. It's a practical set. There are parts of this movie that are okay. He makes some jokes. He's classic, just selling
action
it. I'm
hero.
an action movie guy.
Yeah,
I am a ranger. But then his arc ends with, he knows he's not going to get out of here alive. J-Lo thinks so, but he knows. And it ends with him shooting a giant mech-sized weapon, which, number one, Casca also does this earlier, and it's beautiful when he just picks up a mech-sized weapon.
It's so good when you see him scavenge a mech gun.
He does a fuck you robot, blows the whole fucking place up with his gun. And
yeah,
I like it. He gets a good arc.
Too.
If he had waited 2 seconds, the rest of the Marines were going to be here, but whatever.
No, I was just going to say one thing we glossed over here is the discussion of AI spirituality.
Is it about Colonel Banks? Did you have a thought on Colonel Banks?
No. I love him, but I'll get there. You skipped this part.
Smith having a concept of life after death? Yeah, talk to me about it.
So there was a really funny article that came out recently, which is like the first robot monk has been accepted into a Buddhist, whatever.
What?
And it's so funny because, again, we're running into the gap where AI can't actually make decisions like that. You can go to autocorrect or autofill and go, hey, do you think you would like to be Buddhist? And the robot, programmed to agree with you, will go, I could be Buddhist. And you go, whoa, the robot converted to Buddhism. No, it didn't. It isn't thinking in that way. This robot is thinking in that way, but it's so weird that, like I said, it's like, we keep running into this issue that you highlighted, Brian, where they are talking about sci-fi AI. Unfortunately, the language also crosses over with the language that's being deployed against us now to try to convince us that AI are like people and threats or religious or whatever it may be. But yeah, so we're presented with Smith having a conception of life after death. He believes in like true reincarnation, that everything is interconnected. He believes in the Force.
He believes in AWA.
He believes in
AWA for arcs. Yeah.
Which is why I made my stupid quip about given your current attachments, you will never escape samsara, because he is fucking functionally Buddhist. It's insane. They have this fucking conversation. Again, the repeated note is, why are you such a frigid bitch, J-Lo? Why don't you just get with him? He also says an incredibly funny thing when they're talking to Casca, where he says, I have a closed loop system, I can't be hacked, and then in the sequence gets immediately hacked.
My firewall has been breached and I'm getting hacked. Number one, okay, you're going to a planet where the AI terrorist who has turned every AI he's touched evil, and we are not Faraday caging our fucking CPUs. What are we doing, Rangers?
Yeah, and also androids. They just left him laying down there like that with absolutely no restraints or anything. Quick note about Banks. I like that Banks appears to... Banks looks like someone who's been here and been through the experience on this planet. Simu Liu has this fucked up finger tendril that he apparently uses to do telepathy on you via like fire in the sky, eyeball.
Well, it's his version of the chess piece that you plug into the side of the head.
The game where you have to do that to yourself. Dead Space. Is that Dead Space?
Well, Prey also had the injector where you put it directly to your eye, and that's how you did upgrade.
He has that. he does that to Banks to get one of the 2FA codes, and afterwards Banks looks like he's been stung by a bee on that whole side of his face. He does the same thing to J-Lo off screen, and absolutely nothing happens to her.
Again, yeah, it's like that. You can't be ugly. You can't actually look affected by your environment type thing. This is literally the captured interrogation scene from Titanfall 2. In that sequence, as we all remember, this is when you get BT's core and the smart gun that is unkillable. In this case, you just are J-Lo.
another absolutely mandatory sci-fi fit is the distressed woman in a tank top. We just gotta have that. It works though. I like it. I like the tank top. I gotta say.
Listen, I have a note here that says I am so unfortunately attracted to J-Lo in this movie. I'm not going to be able to say anything for significant portions. I'm into it.
This movie wraps up in a pretty anticlimactic fight. In fact, here's what I want to say. At some point, he says, "They took all of my weapons except for my chest cannon." And I thought, that's how Simu Liu is going to die. No, it's just kind of used during the middle of a fight to push him away. And that was just like, that's when I was like, this could have had sauce.
Yeah, so like the survival aspect of this movie, all the time we spend in the cockpit, all that stuff is where I peak with this movie. Mm-hmm. This is where we start to plummet farther than we've ever plummeted, because not only do you have what Alice is saying, which is like the stakes are nothing because you have this, they took all my weapons thing. Oh, it's a good thing they were keeping us in the room with all of the weapons. All of the weapons. Every weapon. Yeah. They have 9 weapons now, and they all have infinite ammo.
They have an upgrade sequence. Literally, Smith gets an extra set of arms, which I actually really like as part of the mech design.
Like the extra arms, yeah.
Like, that is really cool. He comes out with a pipe and a knife, which is kind of funny.
I think that I reached a low of cinema of all time when Simu Liu has a fucking sword. That sword is so...
How did you feel about his fingers separating to deploy it?
It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad.
He shoots a sword out between his arms that's made out of orange. The cool part about the sword is it becomes a whip sword. Never not loving a whip sword when it happens. He is doing what he can to make this have any sauce, and it's just not. This fight has end of Terminator if no one cared what they were doing.
So bad. He should have a mech, and if he doesn't have a mech, he should be outfitted with a suite of weapons that makes it clear that he was optimized to fight mechs, not a sword. A sword is not a thing you fight a mech in.
The first time she hits it, like, he's just quicker. He's just quick. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but he's not... Okay, Harlan is not Lightning the Rain transformed. Harlan will never be Lightning the Rain transformed. I'm doing Trump fingers when I say this.
They crucially underserved Simu Liu. They gave him the eco-fascist plot. He literally has the same justification of Char in Char's counterattack. He's going to blow up the whole Earth because he got unfettered access to a child's knowledge of the Anthropocene, and he saw seagulls getting mulched.
Here's where I meet Niko halfway on this, because this is a good point. If they had allowed Simu Liu to be about 500 times campier, 500 times cornier, this would have hit, I think. This would have hit hard.
Because we got a twofold problem. He wasn't allowed to do that, and unfortunately, every scene where he has to interact with the mech in a fight has to be him as CGI, which just is not going to hit. It just does not look good.
It looks awful.
They do some interesting stuff here. They give the mech 4 arms. I like that. We get a shield plate, which it seems like it would have been useful for it to deploy, like when she fired the ion cannon and like a whole bunch of other things. But there's like a shield plate that literally shuts over the big glass. I like that. We get volatile liquid rocket fuel, my favorite mech subplot. That is how, Alice, as you pointed out, that's how Sterling K. Brown dies. We have volatile liquid rocket fuel.
And they use it. There's a cell.
There's a moment where she's like thrown back and the 2 lower arms enter a boxing stance, which she also enters, and then the upper arms are still poised to do like weapon attacks. There's a lot of mech motion in the second half of this film, especially its cartwheels and its rolls, which look kind of cool. But as you said, the mech versus one android is a cool concept, but the movie can't execute on it. Like, it just can't do it. Here, Bryant, so this is where you hit the bottom of your bell curve and everything fell off.
Well, also, I want to say that you can hack a nuclear warhead so that it doesn't detonate when you hit it with another bomb. You can do that.
Holy shit, love.
You can do that.
Love hacking a nuke before I shoot it. Also, as we all know, you immediately arm a nuke. You don't wait until you're about to drop it. You arm it immediately.
Yeah. But here's where I had my pivot, right? Because I get to this point in the movie and I'm like, God, I'm so conflicted, right? Because the script is just kind of dog shit. Like, the entire first part of the movie is shit. Like, there's so many moments that could be cool and I'm being underserved, but there's some cool visuals. Like, I like some of the stuff that's happening and I'm like really attracted to J-Lo, but like the central relationship isn't working for me. And then my brain, I sit there and I go, this movie is no better and no worse than Metal Gear Solid. There is a fundamental flaw
what the fuck
in
ever.
the ideological premises presented by this media. The central relationship is nothing. It's garbage. But there are really cool things to see on screen. It does some interesting fights. It does crazy, like, it pushes the envelope in a lot of ways. It's not good, but Metal Gear is also not good. This is Netflix and I disrespect it. I don't respect it. But people who would look at Kojima as a quirky auteur for presenting what he did in the Metal Gear Solid series, I need you to look at this movie and realize it is trying to do a lot of the same shit. Unfortunately, it is a Netflix vehicle bankrolled partially by J-Lo.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with you that it's trying to do the same shit, but I would not in a million light years say that it's not worse than Metal Gear.
I had so much dog shit time, especially Metal Gear Solid 5. I had such a dog shit time with that series, struggling with the ideology at the center of it, but enjoying so many parts of it, including Raiden the Rain Transformed, that I was sitting here and looking at this. Listen to me. You made me look at Mount Snakemore. You made me complicit in my own sharification.
Mount Snakemore is better than literally anything this movie could ever imagine doing ever.
You made me complicit in my own sharification. I like Char Aznavour. You did that to me. Take my hand. I'm clasping it with J-Lo's. I like this movie.
This is
a 7 out of 10 B movie.
I'm jerking my hand away. Like that lady from that Vine, you know that Vine where he like tries to touch that lady's hand on the bus and she goes like this? That's what I just did.
Niko, you've been like, I can't wait for listeners to hear your entire arc through this of like, this fucking robot sucks. It's a pretty great movie, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus Christ.
This whole movie, I was so conflicted, and I'm like, there's so much of this that sucks shit, and there's so much of this that I actually like. And I'm just sitting here. It's not better than Metal Gear. To me, they are similar. They are so similar. They sit at the same level for me because there's so many parts of Metal Gear that I'm like, this is dog ass.
Because there are good things and bad things in them? Okay.
But as a whole, I don't regret engaging with it. Because it is interesting. There are interesting ideas to play with. I like so many of the visuals. I don't
regret engaging with this.
I don't regret it. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the common ground. I'm putting my hand back in the circle. I don't regret watching this.
If we were talking about B movies, I would put this at an 8 out of 10. Honestly, higher than you as far as like B action slot.
You know what I most recently watched before this? Space Truckers. This movie is better than Space Truckers.
I'm taking my hand back out. I'm taking my hand back out because
I'm loading my gun.
B movies don't have $1 billion trillion in a AAA actress to work with, and they know it.
That's the thing. But so, you know what? So do janky video games. They don't have Kojima money. You know what I mean? You have played Death Stranding, which is a game that is really interesting in so many respects, and then also has the line, we're like Mario and Peach in it.
Yeah,
that is how I feel about this
film. And has breath. Do you think anything in this writing had character?
J-Lo's stupid little robot drawing has as much character and breath as we are like Mario and Peach, or anything that fucking Revolver Ocelot says. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
I'm pointing my gun at both of you because we have to stop whatever is happening right now.
This is the Stardust memory. We're in the colony control room, all pointing guns at each other.
Pointing guns at each other.
Our ideologies are not syncing.
And as we're all pointing guns in the theater of the mind, I'm asking, do you have any last thoughts about?
You are trying to kick me off the stage. Women's voices are being silenced.
We are 2 hours into this podcast, and that's more content than this movie.
Price of Smiles. You will don't interrupt me. No, I will say, we get another bad mouthfeel moment, like the you were a housebot, which is basically almost like saying you were a houseboy, which is fucked up. The problem with naming your mech Smith and having him be the whitest character in your film who doesn't have skin is when J-Lo jumps on an Asian man and says, but Smith is the better version of you. That also feels bad. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel
there were
good.
some valences
Again,
there.
There's like weird valence. Again, like I said, it's the ignorance of the script. Unfortunately, even though J-Lo cannot actually be described as shit-wrecked, she's a 52-year-old woman who gets fairly sweaty in this movie in a tank top. I am free on Thursday. I need the loudest, most resounding bass-boosted MILF that thing clip possible. Please give it to me.
I'm over here looking at Sterling K. Brown with the same eyes, so I can't judge.
Agreed.
At the very end of this film,
Yeah,
she
talk
puts
about
on
the
her
end.
stupid
Just
troop
the
outfit, which unfortunately is also extremely hot. The jacket with the pants, I'm sorry.
Wait, first off, I've got to come over. Thanks for stopping the worst terrorist of mankind and killing all those Rangers. Here's a plant from an alien planet that we all thought was just going to be the helmet ending from Titanfall 2, but it wasn't. It was just a plant.
And let me tell you, if the movie had ended right there, I would be a little bit happier with everything. But no, we have to go and confirm that this is just going to be...
J-Lo has been talking about the whole movie. I want to be a ranger. I've spent 28 years of my life being a counterterrorism expert, but I've only ever wanted to be a ranger. And she's finally a ranger.
To back up a little bit, their version of the Protocol 3 launching you into space thing is not as dramatic, but I did like it, which is that Smith is allocating the remaining energy in his power cells to her oxygen mask. Again, this is sci-fi bullshit. It doesn't actually make sense, whatever.
Which is just a necklace.
He's gonna die. And again, this is completely undercut by the end of this movie, but like, he's gonna die, but it gives her more time for help to arrive for her. And so what she does at the end is finally decide to open up. And I did type, I hate that we only get mech/pilot romance when it's het. This is the most obvious, like, okay, I'm into you, I'm gonna tell you about myself.
I mean, she does open the conversation by saying, I like both, in a very charged way, I would say.
Yeah!
But...
Bisexual statements actually made about cake and pie. But at the end of it, he names her a ranger, and on the one hand, I hate the military, so I'm like, I hate that your highest aspiration is to become a troop. Unfortunately, it does kind of go for me to have your co-pilot, your mech, your closest friend, your partner in the battlefield decide that you deserve a field promotion, even if nobody else thinks that you're fit for it. I'm just going to give it to you. I like that. I wish she hadn't literally gotten it. Like you said, Brian, if the movie had ended with her still being an analyst and having... Do you know how much I would have loved it if she pulled the cover off that plant and immediately died? It's not in the right atmosphere.
I am kind of upset because I don't think any military has a structure where you can be promoted from analyst to ranger. Mostly because ranger is an earned title. Also, rangers are cool. I'm just going to say it. Rangers are cool. Rangers lead the way. But also, other people who started as an analyst but were a ranger before then. That's right. Jack Ryan from the Tom Clancy series.
That's what I'm saying.
He's an analyst. But what happens? So she's a ranger, and she's finally gotten her new mech, and she hops in, and it's like, it's the ARC-10, this is the whole new thing. And she starts the setup, and she goes through the voices. And which voice does she select?
Classic.
Default.
Okay.
And it says, hello, pilot. And then it remembers her. Sauceless!
The other thing I had to say, because Niko you said something key earlier that I've been restraining myself about, which is that one of the supporting actors not given their due in this movie is the quad shot Americano.
Mm-hmm.
A quad shot Americano is not a black coffee with 3 goddamn sugars. What the fuck are you talking about?
Basic inconsistency in the writing of the script. Again, like just some sloppy work here.
It's sloppy. Care about what you're doing, please.
An Americano is a basic coffee for Europeans, you American centrist. Harumph.
Harumph, she said.
Yeah, so it ends, it says, I remember you, and we all remember that even if an electronic is powered down, you can still recover its memory. It doesn't just die.
This shit is so ass.
Nothing matters. Shit is so ass. Nothing matters. I will say, in the part where he lifts her out of the cockpit to do defib, which again... Sorry, you don't want any metal contacting you when someone's applying a defibrillator. Definitely not a giant metal mech hand. But anyway, when he lifts her out of the cockpit and then when she is lifted into her cockpit, I'm sorry, I'm always a sucker for the mech handling the pilot the way they do in Titanfall. That rewired some shit when I saw them just grab their pilot in Titanfall. Unfortunately, it's like when you go to see a movie and you're like, I don't find this sexy, but unfortunately there's like a hint of your kink and you're like,
yeah,
shit, you press the key.
You asked earlier if we had any final thoughts. Do we want to go there?
I need to know your final thoughts because, guys, we've got to wrap this up. This movie does not necessitate us being this excited and yelling at each other. And I'm still holding my gun at you. We are still in the theater.
The movie doesn't count as that, but Niko saying something completely fucking insane, like this is not worse than Metal Gear, is something exciting.
Hey, I'm just glad somebody's coming on with worse takes than me for once, so that I can walk away the hero.
I think I'll be vindicated by the court of public opinion. I think our listenership will understand. Yeah, I think John Durham and I are going to do that panel where the guys are just spinning in a field of flowers.
What are your final thoughts on Atlas 2024?
This movie is a bad video game. It works like a bad video game. It acts like a bad video game. And somehow, even though I watched it and didn't have any controls, it somehow plays like a bad video game. But it's not all doom and gloom because I have really good news. It's not just a bad game. It's a bad impersonation of a really good video game. And that video game is Titanfall 2. Instead of watching this movie, go boot up a campaign of Titanfall 2 immediately. That's my last thought.
Just watch a playthrough if you can't do that, honestly.
Here's my final thought. Watch this movie and then go play Titanfall 2. You can enjoy both. I'm here to say to you that a movie can be a bad video game, and a bad video game that Hideo Kojima really wanted to make a movie out of can be a bad movie. If Hideo Kojima actually got handed Netflix money to make a film, it would be like this.
This is like the worst thing we've ever done. This is the worst thing we've ever done on this podcast.
In all of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, you didn't play the fucking video games, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I can make this statement.
No! That's not how it works at all! That's not how it works at all!
I have experienced these games exactly how Kojima wishes he could have made them as a film.
The game does ludonarratology.
My final thoughts on this movie are, in another time and place, this movie was made before streaming services and late-stage capitalism meant that it got $200 million to make whatever. If this was made in a different era, this would have been played on TNT every Saturday afternoon, cut up by mesothelioma ads, and it would have a cult following. You know, it would
It would be a Robot Jocks.
There's a culture of millennials who really love that era, and it is part of your childhood, but it's the reiteration. The things that stick around in the zeitgeist are consumed multiple times by people, or are so impactful that one intersection you have with it is important. This is a film that, after this, we, the three of us, are going to evoke it as an in-joke. Am I ever going to talk to another person in my real life about this? Absolutely not. Would I even say, hey, you like bad robot movies? Check out Atlas, because it's not bad enough to be like, that's fun, and it's not good enough to be like, that's great. This is a movie that, as we produce more content slop like this, that costs more and more money for less and less return on investment, you can see how you could enjoy this movie. And I here's the thing. I'm gonna say it. I liked this movie. I had fun. This is in that same pile of The Rock and Armageddon, movies that if I do end up watching it again, I'll be happy. I'm not seeking them out unless they're on TNT in the afternoon. TNT is a cable streaming show that used to play old action movies. For listener context there.
If this movie had bankrupted a visual effects studio in 1995, it would have been a much more successful project, I think.
Sorry, there's a good Tumblr post I love that says, I like when things kind of suck. Unfortunately, when a movie kind of sucks and it took the GDP of a small nation to produce, it does make you want to kill someone with a gun. And I do empathize with that. I will not defend Atlas as a product of 2020's capitalism, because it is the worst example of this. Like you said, this should have been a B movie, and it is way too expensive, and it's got way too much shit going on here, and it serves nothing, and it serves no one. I just had a good time with it, and I knew I would piss you all off so badly.
Well, I had a good time with it. My frustrations are that it wasn't more. I think we all kind of feel that sometimes when we get to a media like this, is when you're rewriting the script in your head, that's when it has a little bit of juice. And I think we all were like,
if something is bad, you can forget it. If something is good, you will think about it fondly every once in a while. If something is mediocre, it will haunt you for the rest of your life.
I think this was bad. I don't think
Yeah, so you can forget it. I would be
I think I'm
haunted.
the lowest on this out of all of us, which is so shocking to me.
Yeah, but like I also liked Top Gun, so like don't use me.
Alice, speaking of highs and lows, is there something we should do here?
We have to rate these goddamn mechs. So this is kind of interesting. There are two named mechs that I'm gonna call out, Smith and Zoe. They're the only ones we interact with. The other ones are kind of in the background, but really we're just talking about the Advanced Robotic Combat Suit, or the ARC-9. Let's go around. Brian, how do you rate the goddamn mechs in Atlas?
I'm having a hard time with this, right? Because like my instinct says like a 5 because there is stuff I liked. I talked about stuff I liked, and all of the stuff I liked about this movie is intrinsically tied to the mechs. So like for it to be the movie's strongest point, it feels like 5 is a little bit unfair. But I don't want to give it something like a 7 or an 8 because I don't even want to put it on the same plane of existence as any of, like, for example, the really good Gundam that we've watched this year. Because while we are tired of Gundam, I've watched some really good Gundam this year. And I don't want to, like, insult it by putting this movie anywhere near that stuff. But, like, unfortunately, because of the fact that we rate the mechs and not the show itself, like,
just the
mechs are good, kind of. Like, the mechs are kind of good in this. And the mech stuff is kind of good. So I don't want to give it a 5. I think a 5 is too mediocre. I think 6. It's a 6. I think 6, right? Yeah,
I can't influence your score. I can't influence it.
Cause that way I'm giving credence also to the fact that a lot of the mech stuff is undercut by the fact that the performance of its voice is not very good. Mm-hmm. So maybe I think 6 works for me. I think I'll give it a 6.
Ooh, coming in last minute with the score. I love when Brian is really you know it's
I
turning
had
over
it as
the
a
head.
5. It was a 5 until like the end of our conversation. And I was like,
Niko, what about you? How do you rate the ARC-9?
I googled Atlas 2024 ARC suit figure. Unfortunately, because this was a Netflix production, and Netflix couldn't get their shit together for K-pop Demon Hunters until like a year after that thing had been in the zeitgeist, there's no merch. But you can, for the low price of $275, acquire the field harness and hat worn by some of the ICN techs that you see in the hangar. I did not purchase it. But hey, I made the search, which means it by necessity must be a 6, because that is the Niko threshold of if I looked for a figure to add to my stupid little shelf of figures, even though I hate Smith as a character, that is a 6. And that is about as high as I'm willing to go with it, right? They didn't do enough Ghost in the Shell shit with Casca, right? For me to think about Casca as a mech. He just has a lot of bodies. That's not...
To your point, like the scene where Simu Liu is piloting the mom is also like tragically sauceless in a way that could have been piloting.
Yeah,
you know?
We could have really talked about, I will say, like, an underexplored, or probably explored in something I just haven't encountered yet. An underexplored idea is like, what if your mech piloted you back? Which I really
That's what
like.
I was saying. Yeah.
Like, I like that as an idea. Unfortunately, it's not executed on well here. Like I said, I so hate the character of Smith as constructed. I will give the Velocipaster credit for starting very starting very TikTok text-to-speech voice and getting a little more human as time goes on. Clearly there was a performance put in, just not the one I wanted. You know, and the gender stuff is freighted, but I like that these mechs are kind of circle guys. I like that they're a little bit squart. She has to take manual control before she can, before she does the neural link. She is piloting manually in a sequence that we get of her literally having to exert her body to walk the mech. I like the cockpit as a space, like you said, Brian. And there's this, it's like a half second, blink and you miss it. When Simu Liu is running around with his laser sword cutting off parts of this mech, he cuts off a lower and an upper arm. And there's a half second where the lower arm on the side where the upper arm was cut off revolves in the joint to put the remaining arm into the same upper slot as the remaining arm on the other side. That was really cool. I liked that as a mechanical detail. I liked the cartwheels. I liked the rolling.
I missed
Unfortunately,
that. Yeah, that's cool.
Smith is sauceless. So yeah, it's a 6 for me. Alice, where are you at?
I love this movie. I like this movie.
I like how Alice can't say she loves it because I came in as a lover, and Alice is like, I don't want to be associated with you.
We're talking about the mechs, and I think Putting this up against BT is hard because we don't forget that the other part of BT is whatever the pilot actor was doing in that, which is just dude bro being dude bro.
Yeah,
and BT
but it was
was
Matt
the entire
Mercer.
sauce of that. Overrated. But the Atlas mech himself, Ark himself, stop. You're just holding up your BT figure while I'm talking. It's insane.
I love him so
You're
much.
insufferable this episode.
I don't know. You just said that the voice acting in Titanfall 2 sucked, so I'm struggling with both of you right now.
Not the BT part of it. That's what I'll say.
Don't fall down, my boy.
When I was thinking about how I wanted to rate this, I had to I wanted more out of the Ranger mechs. The whole time I kept thinking about this movie, my rewrite is that more of the Rangers survive and they're killed off through the series of the movie as she learns to use her own mech. And they're like, look how cool it is if you can control your own mech. And she finds a new symbiotic relationship or whatever. And we get cool spinning fights in the sky and I checked the timestamps, that is a 2-minute sequence. And after that, there is no mech on mech combat. She's mostly running. When the weapons are used, it is in the most sauceless way. The mines are sauceless. The chest cannon never gets used. I really just kind of hated the Arc suit because it was in the place of a better mech movie. This could have been a good mech. There's so many things that could have been good. There's a scene earlier where Z.O.E.Y gives the coffee cup, and I want to love that. I want to love that scene, but they tie it with her having this oh, I'm a little princess for my pilot ranger. Oh. And it's just it's kind of annoying. It's kind of just not great. But I actually I like S.M.I.T.H. I like this performance. I like the choices that they make with this acting. I think going from a Microsoft Sam voice, default voice, to being able to throw shit back to J.Lo, there's a clear arc that I really enjoy. I like when they have banter. If it weren't for that, this would have been a 1. But because of that, I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
The arc suits gets a 2 for me. Did not look this up. I could not tell you anything besides the fact that the headset has a bespoke fucking besides the comedy parts of this suit, the meat cube producer that has fucking wood sticks for the shit, the dog tag chamber, all these the fact she's kind of just strapped in with no real 9-point harness despite being in a mech that's flying from the sky,
And she keeps taking it off and putting it back on.
they have all this technology and they're shooting a metal plate on her leg for those are funny to me. Those are but it's it's just not a good mech. It's a bad mech. It doesn't do mech shit. They had 28 years to make mechs to fight AI androids, and they all get fucking got because they're sauceless. This is a 2 for me, coming out of it with a 2.
That's fair.
Well, that was our discussion of Atlas 2024. We probably have some more thoughts. Hit us up in the Discord and tell Niko what you think about her thoughts specifically. But we're going to head to the break, and when we get back, we're going to play a little game and read a little listener mail. But for now, let's slide to the break. Hey pilots, Alice here. Not to be an anime heroine with you here in the break, but well, I called you back behind the school for a really important reason. It's just, I've been so happy spending all this time together, talking about mechs, watching giant robot anime, and building gunpla kits together. All those wonderful days, laughing at the silly plot of Price of Smiles, sharing G-Savior with our friends, and even when we all cried at Pacific Rim 2. I really cherish you, pilots, and that's why I can't keep this inside of me. I have to ask you a question. Okay, here goes. Will you please rate our podcast 5 stars? It really helps us with the algorithm. I mean, you can share with your friends too, or just post about it incessantly online. It would mean so much to me. Whew, glad I got that off my chest. Well, alright pilots, see you back in the episode. Welcome back from the break. We've all taken some time to cool off, went to the locker room, hit each other with towels. It was a real robot jock situation, but we're ready to calm down.
I took a bunch of stimulants. I'm angrier.
Ah, shit.
I'm supposed to be the one on stimulants.
Now that we're kind of past whatever that was, it's time to play a little game.
Okay.
This game is called An All-American Superstar.
Oh no.
Born to 2 Puerto Rican parents in the Bronx and raised Catholic, Jennifer Lopez, aka J.Lo, eventually got her break as a backup dancer to Shakira. As a singer and actress, she's been a dual threat performer since the 80s. Some people call her a triple threat. I don't count the dancing. Now, with over 40 movies under her belt, we can look back on her film career and say to ourselves, wow, she sure was paid a lot of money to act in movies. This year is America's 250th anniversary or some shit. What better way to celebrate than talking about a second-generation Puerto Rican singer/actress whose estimated net worth is $400 million, who also dated P. Diddy for 2 years in the 90s, and whose most talked about creation in media was her failed marriage with Brad Pitt. Her breakthrough movie was a true story film named Selena, which celebrated a Latin music artist that isn't J.Lo. Is this not the American dream? To join the cabal of rich elite and create art that averages 5.0 on IMDb? I'm going to read an IMDb summary of a J.Lo movie. I'm then going to give you the movie titles to 3 of her films. You're going to guess which title is which summary. Okay. Stealing is, of course, allowed as our regular structure. And then there's a second part to each question here. Don't worry, we'll get to that when it happens. It's pretty simple and also multiple choice.
What mech did she pilot in this rom-com?
I'm going to just take a guess that you two don't really get into rom-com movies too much like I do, and maybe haven't seen some of her films. How many J.Lo films have you seen?
Just Selena. I saw that, what's that one rom-com where they're time traveling? I like that one.
Oh, was that About Time?
Yeah, with
with Justin Timberlake.
No.
What? About Time has what's her name?
Oh.
Rachel McAdams, right?
Yeah, About Time. That is not a rom-com to me because it makes you very sad. That's a rom sad. Anyway, no, I've never seen a J.Lo movie other than this, though I've seen a lot of gifs of Hustlers because I'm a lesbian on the internet.
About Time doesn't star Jennifer Lopez.
No, it doesn't. Brian just brought it up as an example of a rom-com.
Yeah, you asked me what my experience with rom-coms was. Jeez.
Okay, I watch so many rom-coms, it's crazy. I'm trying to find love.
Wikipedia says it's a rom-com.
It is. All right, let's jump in. Brian?
Yeah.
Because your name starts with B, we're going to start with you.
Great.
Huge.
The summary on IMDb reads as such. Also, close your IMDbs if you have them open. Niko?
All I have open is my own notes because I'm
showing my hands that somehow indicates I don't have IMDb open.
And you're not masturbating. Thank you. Hands?
We all gotta have our hands up in the podcast recording so Alice knows we're not jerking it.
Not jerking during record. Brian, the IMDb description reads as thus. A young girl agrees to work in a center for girls who can't stay with their parents. She gets wrapped up in the plights of several of the girls and tries to help them, but only gets herself into trouble with her parents and supervisor. Was this A, My Family, 1995, B, My Little Girl, 1986, or C, Angel Eyes, 2001? That's My Family, My Little Girl, or Angel Eyes.
My Family.
Ooh, that is incorrect. Niko, would you like to steal? Was it My Little Girl or Angel Eyes?
Let's say Angel Eyes.
That is also incorrect. The correct answer is My Little Girl, her 1986 film. That's one of the first ones she did. Because neither of you got it, Brian, you get a chance for the bonus question.
Okay.
Bonus. Who did she star opposite of? Was it A, Brad Pitt, B, P. Diddy, or C, James Earl Jones?
P. Diddy?
Incorrect.
Okay.
Niko, do you want to try and steal the bonus? We're just doing whatever at this point.
Was it James Earl Jones?
It was James Earl Jones, who starred as Mr. Bailey, who was her supervisor in the film.
He was her supervisor. Okay, got it.
All right,
not
Niko,
her love interest. Yeah, you made a face
her love interest.
Not that's her love interest. No. Niko, over to you.
Uh-huh.
The IMDb description is thus. A career bank robber breaks out of jail and shares a moment of mutual attraction with a U.S. Marshal he has kidnapped. Was this A, Out of Sign, 1998, B, Anaconda, 1997, or C, U-Turn, 1997?
What was the first one again?
Out of Sign.
I'm going to say U-Turn, because U.S. Marshals drive a lot.
It's a good argument. That is incorrect. It was not U-Turn. Brian, would you like to steal? Was it Out of Sign or Anaconda?
Anaconda. No, it's Out of Sign for sure.
It was Out of Sign. It was not the beautiful movie Anaconda in which they try and capture a giant snake in the Amazon. Everyone should watch Anaconda. Best J-Lo movie.
I think it's funny they said it in the Amazon when giant snakes are a serious problem in the Florida Everglades because people keep releasing their pythons.
Brian, since you got it, you get to answer this question, which is, who did she star opposite of? Was it A, Ving Rhames, B, George Clooney, or C, Sean Penn?
Rhames.
Incorrect. Niko, you want to try and steal that one? Was it George Clooney or Sean Penn?
I feel like this was George Clooney's era, and she would have been young enough that they're like, yeah, this makes sense for film chemistry. George Clooney?
That is correct. He played the character
the
Jack
Cloon.
Foley. He was the bank robber.
Well,
who
he was
kidnapped
probably like
her,
15
the US
years
Marshal.
older than her at the time, which, again, in Hollywood math, makes it a perfect couple.
Okay, I was worrying about this. The movie is called Out of Sight. I don't know where you got sign from.
I was wondering. Alice, can you give us a crisp read of the word sight, and we'll just edit it?
No,
Out of
not
Sight,
doing
1998. It was Out of Sight. That's when you asked for the clarification one. So if you could just edit those in and none of this, that'd be great.
Got it, boss.
But she didn't.
Brian, back to you. The IMDb description reads as thus. Wealthy wine dealer and failed family man Alex commits a robbery to make money for his fledgling business, but things become complicated when his wife Susan interferes. Was it A, Enough, 2002, B, Money Train, 1995, or C, Blood and Wine, 1996?
It's like totally insane how hot George Clooney is.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
What was the third one? What?
Blood and Wine, 1996.
Blood and Wine. Yeah, that's my guess.
That is correct.
Nice.
It was called Blood and Wine. It's okay. Money Train, the original one, so good. Everyone should watch Money Train. Bonus for you, Brian. Who did she star opposite in the movie Blood and Wine? Was it A, Jack Nicholson, B, Michael Caine, or C, Stephen Dorff?
Michael Caine.
It wasn't Michael Caine.
Okay.
Niko, was it Jack Nicholson or Stephen Dorff?
Again, I feel like this is Hollywood math. I'm gonna go with Jack Nicholson.
It was Jack Nicholson. He played Alex.
I'm not actually good at this game. I'm just good at guessing who Hollywood thinks J-Lo would fuck.
The fun part is besides the first one, these are all people who are in the same movie. So I tried to keep it to just the people cast in the movie so you could kind of guess who she fucked. All right, back to you, Niko.
What?
Yep.
The IMDb description reads as thus. A senatorial candidate falls for a hotel maid, thinking she is a socialite when he sees her trying on a wealthy woman's dress. Was this A, Jersey Girl, 2004, Made in Manhattan, 2002, or Shall We Dance, 2004?
I think this was Made in Manhattan.
That is correct. This is the plot of Made in Manhattan, a beautiful rom-com that everybody should watch. Bonus, she star opposite of, was it Tyler Posey, Ralph Fiennes, or Stanley Tucci?
Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
Famous for 28 Years Later, a film that could have been in this film. I'm gonna go Ralph Fiennes just because I like him.
Yeah, that is correct. He played Christopher Marshall.
Shit! Why am I no-scoping these actors?
You know, mediocre white men, I guess. I love Stanley Tucci. Have we talked about Stanley Tucci? Love Stanley Tucci. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. Ralph Fiennes and her actually have really good chemistry in that movie. I kind of like it. It's a better Pretty Woman, in my opinion.
That's a wild thing to say, but okay.
Because that's a bad movie. Number 5, Ryan.
Yeah.
The IMDb description reads as thus. A woman conceives twins through artificial insemination, then meets the man of her dreams on the very same day. Was this A, The Backup Plan, 2010, B, What to Expect When You're Expecting, 2012, or C, Giggly, 2003?
What to Expect When You're Expecting?
Is incorrect.
Okay.
A different J-Lo pregnancy film. Niko, was it The Backup Plan or Giggly?
I think it's The Backup Plan.
Oh, The Backup Plan makes sense. Damn it. I didn't think about that.
It is The Backup Plan. That is the correct answer. Niko, you have the chance for the bonus question, which is, who did she star opposite of? Was it Eric Christian Olsen, Alex O'Loughlin, or Anthony Anderson?
So it's Alex O'Loughlin, but I don't know any of these actors, so I'm taking a total shot in the dark. Because I was pedantic, I'll say Alex O'Loughlin.
You were correct. That's who it was. Played a character named Stan. Just Stan.
Stan.
They don't give him a last name.
I love the idea that that's a problem. Like, you get artificially assimilated and then you meet the man you really love. It's only a problem if you are obsessed with bloodlines.
The funny part is I told myself I was going to do pronunciations, but I didn't do it for the games in my mind, because that's not a real thing, and I should have looked up pronunciations. That's on me. All right, Niko. Those were both steals, so we're back to you. The IMDb description reads as thus. After running away fails, a terrified woman empowers herself in order to battle her abusive husband. Is this A, The Wedding Planner, 2001, B, An Unfinished Life, 2005, or B or C, Enough, 2002?
I think this is Enough.
That is correct. This is the movie Enough from 2002 and not The Wedding Planner.
It's so funny. Listeners, this is not a visual medium. The face journey Brian had when Alice, The Wedding Planner,
It was
really
beautiful.
good. Oh.
Bonus, who did she star opposite? Was it A, Billy Campbell, B, Dan Futterman, or C, Noah Weil?
Billy Campbell.
That is correct. Billy Campbell played the character Mitch Heiler in this movie.
The last three, I haven't known who the fuck that was. How am I doing this?
I have some tell. All right, it's time for what kind of question, Brian?
Bonus question.
Put the same effects on it.
I like that one. That one was cute. It's like
That was
Weenie Hut
cute.
Jr.
You know.
In 2024, J.Lo released a new album to try and relaunch her stagnant brand, named This Is Me, Now, which was a sequel to her album, This Is Me, Then, a few years earlier. This album was part of a 3-part multimedia project, which included a documentary, quote, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, end quote, as well as a companion musical film, This Is Me, Now, A Love Story, which J.Lo had to self-finance for $20 million. One streaming service bought this movie, ensuring that we can never know exactly how much of a flop this is. Was it A, Netflix, B, Apple, or C, Amazon? Write down your answers now.
Shit.
I wanted to answer Quibi.
It's a little Quibi 5-minute. Bring back Quibi. It's a Vine.
That's all she could afford for $20 million.
It's on Pluto TV.
Poob has it for you. It's on Poob.
Okay, I'm ready.
I did not tell you to get paper ready, so I'm giving Niko grace.
Okay,
Something
I've got
she
it.
didn't give us earlier in the discussion. All right. Let's read aloud your answers. Brian, you go first.
Oh, Amazon. Why did I write it down then? My answer is Amazon.
Niko?
Apple.
I just wanted you to write it down so you couldn't change your answer. The answer was Amazon. Amazon bought this out because, you'll never guess, this was an MGM Studios production, which is now owned by Amazon.
Yeah, for better and worse, Apple actually makes all their shows, whereas
That's
Amazon
fair.
will announce something and then never do it. So
That's fair. I still think we should have gotten it from Quibi.
Amazon will just buy movies that are out there that the studios don't want to publish, like, I don't know, Atlas 2024. Oh shit, Niko, right here, it says we have another... What kind of question is this?
The rare double.
Bonus question.
That's right, we have a double bonus question this time.
Oh my god, we
The
got DB.
last part of this triple media threat was the launch of the This Is Me ... live tour, which was canceled so Lopez could focus on her family. Instead of doing that, after the release of her movie, the movie This Is Me ... now, a love story, the movie, whatever the fucking movie was, one of the three, the one that was a movie,
I just want
which
you to
was
say
released
again.
on February 16th, 2024. Remember that date. After which, J.Lo and Ben Affleck worked behind the scenes to separate for the last and final time. When in that same year did they file for divorce? The closest answer, without going over, will get this. So the movie was released in February 16th, 2024. The divorce was announced that year.
okay,
What date do you think this divorce was announced?
February 17th.
I was literally going to say the same thing. February 16th at 11:59 p.m.
Yeah.
Brian's closer because Brian said the 17th and you rounded down. The divorce was announced August 20th, 2024.
Okay. We have a little bit of time. Wait, when did
Rumors
Atlas
were
come
circulating. Atlas came out?
Can
A
you
little earlier
imagine
that
if
year.
they went to the premiere of Atlas together and then he immediately went to the lawyer?
May 24th. So right in the middle there.
During the divorce. Little fun fact. So I know our listeners are not the type who are going to go watch a J-Lo documentary movie like I did.
Yeah, you don't know them.
You don't know that. Our listeners are insane complimentary.
If you ever want to feel like normie rich people need to be put in the guillotine, you need to watch The Greatest Love Story Never Told. J-Lo took personal love letters that were written to her by Brad Pitt and gave them to the entire writing room so that they could integrate them into the movie. She is also known for taking a diary that he gave her that he wrote when they were first dating and reading it aloud to her friends. This was brought up in the divorce proceedings as a reason for the divorce.
That's
Their entire
not good.
relationship was so toxic.
Dog, I never thought I would be like critical support to
Ben Affleck.
but I guess we're here. Girl, don't do that. Don't do that. I know your career is not going well. Don't do that.
Your career is probably fine if you can spend $20 million on this bullshit vanity project.
I know, but listen, take the time and money you were putting into that, build a time machine, go back, rewrite the script of Atlas 2024 so that I'm valid.
So the This Is Me Now, a love story, the musical
Alice,
is only about...
I'm sorry. Alice, what's the title of that?
This Is Me ... now,
Thank you.
a love story, which is a musical. It's only about 60 minutes, and you should probably at some point just look it up. She really shows her dancing background. Like, she's in, like, a forge with, like, grease all over her, dancing with other guys in, like, a stomp setup. It's actually, like, it's kind of cute until you remember the context at which it was created in. Anyway, what I didn't say is how much those bonus questions were worth. And unfortunately, I'm looking here, and I have a note from the executive producer that says I unfortunately do have to give this to Niko. Cause she made J-Lo look the best in this film. Let's give it up for Niko!
In the game, vindicated in the court of ideas.
Also, it was 8 versus 4. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah,
Bonus
no, it's
were
good.
only worth 1.
I kind of went crazy mode on those actor calls. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. The spirit of IMDb possessed me.
My favorite part of this podcast is when I can just say to an audience of mech enthusiasts, "Hey, you should check out that J-Lo documentary. It's actually pretty neat
And
if
then
you like
some
women."
of them will.
Just look up clips of the.
I just think
of the
I've never
songs.
been more valid vis-a-vis my point on J-Lo executive producing Atlas and then never having anything wrong with her makeup.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
That is, it seems to be quite a vain woman, so, you know.
Oh, hey, one sec. I'm syncing with my art unit here. I've established what my likes and dislikes are, and I've scrolled to the bottom of the 300-page terms and conditions where it says that it can just take my full body autonomy. But there's a little notification here. It looks like I have a flash transmission.
Yeah, we have a letter.
Oh, we have a letter. We do.
Flash transmission letter, whatever. Text message on our Nokia as we float through space.
Brian, while I'm busy between a rock and a hard place, why don't you read that out for us?
This one's short and sweet. Dear OSG, Bob Netflix has asked for my story pitch. It says here in a parenthetical, we were doing lines at an offensive, ethnically themed Malibu infinity pool party. I don't know why you needed to include that detail. And I don't have anything. What masterwork video game can I beat for beat shamelessly rip off and make worse in every way? That's from Whinging Writer in Key West. I'm not sure why you need to do this, but what are our pitches?
You're doing cocaine and you need a pitch real quick. Just take
Get the bag, I
husk of a
guess,
video
because
game.
if you get 80% retention rate or whatever the hell that stupid, awful, dystopian fucking KPI is from Netflix, maybe you'll make some money.
Okay, I've thought about this before. Like, what are some shoe-in video games that nobody has adapted that I think Netflix would excel at this?
Yeah.
The Modern Warfare series, Call of Duty.
Oh, God.
They're basically a movie for
I
dude
thought
bros.
they had adapted it.
No. Nobody's done it yet.
Before Backrooms, there was a trailer for a new, revenge fantasy movie that's going to be coming out about a woman who's like, sorry, baby, I've got to become a badass. It looks like she's up against Soap from fucking Call of Duty. It looks crazy.
Wait, I saw this. It was oh fuck, what was it called?
While you're looking at that, Alice is absolutely right about the ease and the surprise that we haven't gotten this yet. But I will say, basically any military industrial
Onslaught.
slop
It's called Onslaught.
we've ever watched has been a Call of Duty adaptation in some way or another. So, Top Gun is a Call of Duty adaptation in one way or another.
I just like those movies made so much money, and Dubrows would go and just be like, "Hell yeah, brother, soldiers together, yeah."
American Sniper. But
wait, is that really a masterwork video game to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alice is like, I'm me?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3 are like a specific era of American jingoism and game design that's very good.
I have to say, this is a Niko moment. I have an anecdote about Modern Warfare 2.
Get in here, Queen.
Modern Warfare 2, I did play a bunch of Modern Warfare 2. I very specifically remember this on my PlayStation 3 because I was really sick for a week. Like I stayed home from school for a whole week. I was so sick and I had nothing to do but play Modern Warfare 2. And for some reason, I was also listening to I have to find I'm trying to be journalistically accurate here.
I need y'all to know, while Brian looks this up, Brian had a glasses mishap, which means that Brian's only prescription lenses right now are just sunglasses.
Yeah, my eyes hurt like shit. This is awful. Thank you for asking.
They hurt like shit, but Brian does look incredibly cool.
Yeah, Brian looks really cool right now. I didn't want to say
Miles
it.
Davising on the pod.
Yeah, literally.
Miles Davis posting hours.
Okay, so I was listening to In Between We Dream, the studio album by Jack Johnson, while I played Modern Warfare 2. So whenever I hear the song Banana Pancakes, I think about that scene in the Russian airport where you have to kill a bunch of civilians.
Jack Johnson background music.
So
anyway,
beautiful.
Sorry.
What about
Niko,
you two? Masterpiece video games. What can we
what's
give
your
this
masterpiece video game,
artist
Niko?
writer?
I'm going to say something controversial yet brave because I don't feel like it would be done well, but I would like to see it. As someone who actually completed the campaign of Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one,
okay.
Yeah.
I would like to see that as a movie or ideally, honestly, a 10-episode limited series.
And who would play her? Merida? Or I mean, Aloy?
Aloy?
Holy shit. Gaff detected.
She's too young for it, but I would love Rebecca Ferguson again. You know what? Rebecca Ferguson could play her older. Those who know could play the person that she is descended from, shall we say? I think that would be cool. I just want to see Weta Workshop get to go ham on something that isn't Ghost in the Shell 2017.
Yeah.
You know their rigs would be crazy for those fucking machines.
Recent bias, Claire Obscure. Better as a movie. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. There's, something that should get adapted that would be pretty good as like a movie. The Last of Us series.
No.
I think that would be pretty good as a movie, especially if they didn't make any changes.
Right.
Oh, honestly, the Uncharted series as just action movies, a new Indiana Jones. Really, any of those games that you're just basically playing a movie would be a good movie.
Doing a bit. You know Tom Holland played What's-His-Face in an Uncharted movie, right?
No, if they made an Uncharted movie, they would have obviously gotten a sexy adult man and not Tom Holland to play Nathan Drake. That would be insane.
He just looks
he's
small.
Not. He's not an adult man. He's not an adult man.
Let's see. Well, I'm trying to think. What would be a good one? Let me look through my Steam library here. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, here's something. I'll invoke a curse because Alice mentioned Amazon. Fallout 76 gets a season in the Fallout show. Let's just see it. Cooper Howard's already canonically in it. Let's just get it in there.
So I just pulled up the BAFTA for best video game because I'm just gonna read through the list. All of these would be good. Half-Life 2, Mass Effect, Super Mario Galaxy. They should really adapt that with like good voice actors. You wouldn't even have to spend much money if you just didn't use like giant actors. Batman Arkham Asylum. Dishonored as movies.
See, okay, Dishonored would go hard, but again, I don't know who I trust to do Dishonored.
I want a movie of this. Are we ready? Are we ready for this?
I'm ready.
Ace Attorney.
Okay.
You know what? I mean, I think they have Japanese film versions, but like, let's let a white boy speak a little
Specifically the
Japanese
one, the
legal.
period piece one, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That game is so good, and
That's
would
the
make a really
period
good
piece
movie.
one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to see.
Animal
that one.
Crossing, but it's like an A24 horror thriller.
Midsommar, you mean?
Yeah. That's just Tomodachi Life.
Oh, Sekiro? Sekiro would be good.
They are making a Sekiro movie.
Oh, then Red Dead Redemption, does it have a film yet?
We're
2, not the first one.
Well, that's just all of Western canon because that's what they distilled into Red Dead Redemption. I will say I do feel like we're heading into the era of like comics are now played out. We've been doing video game movies, but I feel like we're getting like a heap of them coming up, and I'm wondering if this is the next era because Fallout did well.
No, this is the real one. This is
okay.
Mark my words. Skyrim.
It's that or make another Elder Scrolls game.
The fact we haven't had a Skyrim movie yet, with like Chris Hemsworth as the Dragonborn or some shit. The fact we haven't had that yet is kind of insane. My good answer that I would like to see from a studio that can do some good sci-fi, again, like a Project Hail Mary or like a Weta Workshop joint or whatever. I would like to see Prey 2014. I love that game, and I think it would be a good chance for an Asian actress who wants to do a more serious role because all the concept art for the main character in that are like Asian characters. I would love to see that. I would just.
They can get the girl from Ghost in the Shell, the Asian lady who played Major.
Right.
They can get the real Asian woman.
Things that I think are realistic for Netflix to pick up: a Fortnite movie. I feel like they could pick up a Fortnite movie. Thanks for writing. I do have to go stop my Oni-chan from destroying Earth with the carbon bombs. But there's a lot you can do to get a bunch of money for a story other people have already written and adapting it to screen. So good on ya and good luck. All right. That's this episode of On the Shoulders of Giants where we discussed Atlas. Any parting thoughts, you two?
No.
Yes. I am looking at the cockpit of J-Lo's mech, the blood, and the fried electronics, and the discarded meat lollipop, and all the layers J-Lo sweat through of her 3-piece suit during the second worst 72 hours of her life. And I am saying this with barely restrained lust. I know it smelled crazy in there.
Why are you more of a pervert than me? My final thought is at one point, she has a panel break open and she says, "Oh no, my circuits." And it's literally just the ends of electrical wires with the caps on them and is not actually any circuitry. And real mech fans immediately were turned off because Robot Jocks did it better with a lot less money a long time ago.
Every time I complain about my Linux laptop, I need you to just picture that scene. That's what's happening.
Here's my real final thought. You can attain a sort of Nirvana-like simulacrum of a better experience of this movie by putting Robot Jocks on one screen and Titanfall 2 on the other.
Straight up.
We
smoke a blunt.
We gotta have a dual feature movie night in the community Discord with these two movies. Anyway, thanks for listening. Pilots, remember you can reach out for advice from the team at our email, questions@osgpod.com, and non-pods can send journal questions or feedback to the same address. You can also catch up with us on social media. Links are in the description for updates and more. You'll find a link to the show Discord there. Come and hang out. Make sure to check back in 2 weeks when we'll be discussing the Mech Lightning Round Part 2. Submit mechs that aren't big enough to be in a series to get their own episode, but they're worth talking about. Email us or add us on the Discord with a picture and a name and as much mecha pervert info as you want to write.
There's a whole channel in the Discord that you can use.
Pop in the channel of the Discord. You can add us on Blue Sky.
If you don't add anything, I will research them, so you can only add the name and the photo. Send us submissions. Yes. Slide into my DMs with mecha listeners.
Hot.
So
and
true.
Until then, goodbye. I love you.
Goodbye, I love you.
Peace to the fallen.
No.